It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Monday, October the 23rd, 2023. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It is so great to be back on a lovely fall Monday afternoon in New York City. It's a great time to be alive. There is so much to discuss. UFC 294 has come and gone, my friends. And we got a lot to discuss. I have a lot of thoughts. Am I looking prettier than usual, Frank?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Do you know why?
Because you did a facial?
No, actually,
Glasses.
No. Actually, I'm wearing the old glasses by mistake. I'm looking potentially prettier than usual because I have makeup on my face today. Why do I have makeup on my face? It was an early wake up for your boy. I had to go to HBO to do my final assignment for HBO Real Sports. It's very sad, Frank. Two institutions that I'm closely, or maybe not so closely, just sort of on the periphery related to, have come to an end in the last month or so. Showtime, HBO Real Sports. Anyway, my final piece, in case you're wondering, is airing tomorrow night on HBO and Max, and I've been working on it with a great team since July. It's about Coach Dan Hurley of the National Championship UConn Huskies. They just won back in April, basketball. Hurley family, great story about actually a lot of mental health stuff in there. It airs and premieres tomorrow night, and I'm very excited about it. So I just had to go film some stuff and then dart down here to do this show with all of you. So I'm very excited about that and a little bit sad because it's coming to an end. I feel like I just got started, but a great honor to be on the program. And I'm looking forward to sharing that story with the world because Dan Hurley actually is a fascinating guy. And you know what's the best part about Dan Hurley, the head coach of the UConn Huskies, who just won the national championship back in April? That's the basketball national championship. When I sat down to speak with him, he made a comment about me being a Syracuse guy. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. He knows where I'm, where I went to school. Then, and this was the day after the Izzy Duplessis fight fell apart, and they had announced Colby Leon. It was the day after. It was in July when I first met him. And then he starts peppering me with MMA questions. This guy, 50 years old, head coach, one of the best coaches in the country, massive MMA fan, knows all about the UFC, watches all the pay-per-views, is well up to speed with all the news. I was blown away. Doesn't watch any other sport really, but loves MMA. Combat sports, but MMA in particular. So if you wanna check that out, that'll be tomorrow night on HBO and Max, not HBO Max, Max. All right. As always, today's program brought to you by our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are the official sports betting partner of not only this program, but the UFC as well. Please download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And if you're a first-time user, put in the code TheMMAHour. They hook you up. Always a lot going on, not only in the world of combat, but in the world of sports as well. And, of course, this weekend, the big one, Francis Ngannou against Tyson Fury over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And, of course, we'll be talking about that fight today and all week long. It is going to dominate the conversation. I have a little granola stuck in my throat. Pardon me. That's good stuff. Appreciate it. All right, what are we doing on today's show? Back into the show, we'll recap the weekend as far as betting is concerned, so stay tuned for that. We'll see how the boys did, and GC in particular. Prior to that, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world of boxing, the one and only Devin Haney, is going to be in studio, my friends. How about that? Devin Haney in studio. You may have heard on December 9th, he'll be moving up to 140 pounds. Lightweight, by the way, in boxing is 135. He's moving up to 140 to fight the WBC junior welterweight champion, 140-pound champion, Regis Prograis, who we had on the program prior to his last fight just a few months ago. Bit of a ho-hum affair, and now they'll be fighting for Regis's 140 belt at the Chase Center in San Francisco, home of the Golden State Warriors. Massive fight on DAZN pay-per-view. Devin Haney, one of the top 10 best pound-for-pound boxers on the planet, is going to be in studio at about 3:25 to talk to us about that fight. I'm looking forward to that very much. He is an incredible boxer. Now, prior to that, we'll be joined by Paulo Costa, who, of course, did not compete this past weekend at UFC 294, although he did get in a few skirmishes, it appeared, at the Etihad. So we'll get his thoughts on what transpired, if he's okay, and how the elbow is, where he goes from here, all that stuff and more. Prior to that, we will be joined by the aforementioned Francis Ngannou, who... why is something stuck in my throat? This is a horrible time for something to be stuck in my throat. Please talk amongst yourselves. Yes, everything okay?
Yeah, so I think something is stuck in his throat because he was eating granola before we went live. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it seems like you're really struggling, man.
Yeah, something in the throat. Something in the throat. Yes, Francis Ngannou is going to join. Appreciate that, guys. Thanks for...
yeah, it looks like you cleared it up.
Yeah, thanks for having my back. Francis is going to join us from Saudi Arabia, 2:30. I look forward to that conversation. This is big. My friends over at Gymshark sent me this. Look at that. Bang. Francis, it's a nice little logo right here. Got a shirt, got roots of... I mean, so much merch. This is like GC's dream fight with all the merch. So we'll talk to Francis at 2:30, and then prior to that, we'll talk to Johnny Walker, who, of course, was involved in that crazy fight against Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 294. And so let us begin with our thoughts on UFC 294. And I have a lot. I have a lot of thoughts. In case you haven't heard, Islam Makhachev is still the UFC lightweight champion. He defeated Alex Volkanovski in the first round in very impressive fashion. He won via TKO. He dropped him with a beautiful head kick and then finished him off with ground and pound. The first time since 2013, believe it or not, that Alex Volkanovski has been stopped due to strikes. Just the third loss of his career. He only had two going into this fight, of course, and the other one was the razor-thin decision loss to Islam back in February. And so now you have to say it. And I believe it. Islam Makhachev is the best lightweight on the planet. I don't think that there is any argument. I don't know how you can say anything else. That is an incredible thing to do to a guy like Alex, who is so smart, who is so talented, who is so tough. And short notice or not, those are the cards that you were dealt. If you're Islam, you went out there, you proved your point, exclamation point, no controversy, didn't go to the judges. There's nothing that can be said. That's an incredible win. By far the most impressive win, in my opinion, of Islam's career. And he's obviously had a bunch at this point. He's on this incredible winning streak, tied with the likes of Khabib and Tony Ferguson, and is starting to get into that conversation along with his mentor, Khabib. Not quite there, in my opinion, just yet, but starting to get into that conversation. You can also make the case after Saturday night that he is the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. I think there's only really two that you can make a strong case for at this point. It's Islam or it's John Jones. If you want to give it to John Jones because he hasn't lost in the UFC, and I don't consider the quote-unquote DQ loss to Matt Hamill many moons ago as a loss, you could certainly do that, especially with him moving up to heavyweight and beating Ciryl Gane, especially the way in which he beat Ciryl Gane. But if you want to give it to Islam for getting the win over Alex, but also the activity, he's been far more active than John has over the last 3.5 years, I certainly understand as well. I do pound-for-pound rankings for The Ringer, and I put Islam number one because of the win, because of how much I respect Alex, and because of the activity as of late. Perhaps I change my mind, in about 3 weeks' time when John Jones fights Stipe, and if he does what he did to Ciryl against Stipe, maybe I change my mind as well. Maybe. We'll see how that fight goes. So supremely impressive stuff, and Islam deserves all the praise, all the credit, all the love. I say all that, but I also feel like I'm in my right to say this as well. I don't think that fight ends that way if there was a full training camp. Now, no excuse whatsoever. Alex took the fight. Maybe down the line he will regret taking this fight. And there's a conversation to be had as to whether or not this result will change the trajectory of his career, right? It's not just a loss, because you can make the case that after the fight in February, it was a loss, but a loss that felt like a win in the eyes of the public. And also, like, it just kind of gave him street cred, and it didn't really feel, it was like the closest thing to a moral victory that you could possibly get, right? Without actually getting the W and the belt. This is completely different, because not only is it a loss, it's also a knockout loss. That in itself physically can change the trajectory of your career. At his age, you get knocked out, you get beat up, it could change how you fight. Does it affect his next fight? I mean, we'll only know the answers to these questions 1, 2, 3 fights down the line. Does it affect when he returns? He says he wants to come back still in January against Ilia Topuria. I would say let's maybe learn from what Israel Adesanya just told us about maybe fighting too often. Don't want him to get burned out. Don't want him to come back too soon. Yes, I saw the clip of him saying that he was doing his head in. He was emotional. He wants to stay active. But that's coming from a guy who just fought in July. That was 3 months ago. If you didn't know any better, you would have thought his last fight was a year ago. It's unbelievable that he feels this way when his last fight was in July, and we're talking about a fight in 3 months, not in 6 months, not in 5 months. We're talking about a fight in 3 months. Almost exactly 3 months. That's incredible. He's a different kind of breed, and this is why we love him, and this is why I have so much respect for him. But the next step is going to be very important. I say all that to say that if he had a training camp, a full training camp, there's a very good chance he loses that fight. And there's a very good chance that Islam could, do something spectacular. I don't think he gets knocked out in the first round. I just don't think so. That's not me trying to take anything away from Islam. I do think that, he obviously wasn't training. You could tell he wasn't exactly in the same kind of shape that he was back in February. But that just needs to be said in a show like this where we talk about everything MMA. I'm not taking a thing away from Islam. I don't think it would be fair to do that. He took the fight that was offered to him. He was ready to fight Charles. He was ready to fight Alex. He was ready to fight anyone. He didn't bat an eye. He went out there and won. I feel like I could say, I know someone's going to say, oh, you're hating, you're trying. No, I feel like you could still say, I don't think this fight goes the exact same way with a full training camp. But hey, that's the risk that Alex took, and he's going to have to live with that. And he's probably not going to get another crack at Islam ever again. And who knows if he gets another crack at the 155-pound belt. For now, he should focus on 145. Most importantly, he should focus on getting right, getting healthy, and continue his dominance at featherweight for as long as possible. That's just very impressive. It's shocking to see Alex knocked out like that. We've never seen him get truly beat up. We've never seen, you hardly even see him get rocked, for goodness sake. So to see him out, bleeding, on the ground, that photo of Islam walking away from him, doing the I think we have the photo, and Alex in the background. Yeah, that's iconic stuff. If Islam's the kind of guy to blow up photos and put them in his home or gym or office, whatever, that's one. That's the most impressive one. To do that to Alex Volkanovski is nothing short of amazing, short notice or not. That's shocking. Seeing that is shocking because we've just never seen Alex in that state before. And so I do wonder, does this change the trajectory of his career? Does he rebound? Is he able to rebound? Is he able to let it roll off his back and get back on the horse and continue to dominate at 145? We'll see. But coming off a knockout loss as a champion is rare stuff, right? Because usually you will have lost the belt. This is unique because he moved up to 155. Now you got to fight a killer like Ilia Topuria. Potentially in 3 months' time, this could change things. So it was a very, very big risk. He rolled the dice. He bet on himself. It unfortunately didn't work out. We know what's next for Alex Volkanovski. We know it's Ilia Topuria. I hope, and he's surrounded by great people who I think are some of the best minds in the game. His manager, Ash, his head coach, Joe, his other coach, Eugene, his training partners, his teammates. They are as tight of a unit that we have in this sport. And so I hope that they make the right choice by determining when's the right time to come back. If January is too soon, wait. Go to February, go to March. The next move is going to be crucial because it's one thing to lose that lightweight, title fight when you're the featherweight champion. You lose that featherweight title. Now this is truly heartbreaking stuff. So I'm really curious, and I feel like we just witnessed Izzy coming back too soon, and I don't want the same thing to happen to Alex. hearing him get so emotional about being off for just a couple of months is a little bit alarming. I know he's been through a lot, new child, surgery, all that stuff and more, but I want him to be very smart about when he comes back. The more interesting question right now is, who does Islam fight next? I put out a poll on Saturday night. Last I checked on Sunday, it had 35,000 votes, and Charles Oliveira was winning by 2%. For the longest time, it was 50-50. I've never had a poll that's down the line 50-50. Never had a poll like that with that many votes. Obviously, in the first 10 seconds, it's 50-50 or it's 100-0. But this far into it, never had a poll that was that close. Oliveira by 2%. So it's essentially 50-50. 51% to 49%. Oliveira, Justin Gaethje. There's no real right answer here. I could see a case being made for both. Charles Oliveira, former champion, had the fight, freak injury, freak accident, got a cut, last day of training before he's about to fly out to Abu Dhabi. Are you going to give it to him to right the wrong of the injury? Sounded like Dana White was leaning towards it, but it was nothing definitive. And sometimes these things get twisted and taken out of context. I didn't feel like it was a definitive yes. And he doesn't have to make that call right now. Oliveira, very popular. I think people would like to see him, get this opportunity. But important to remember, he did fight Islam last year. It was pretty one-sided. He's only fought once since. So that's the case for Charles Oliveira. Then you have Justin Gaethje, who's 0-2 in title fights, but is coming off a knockout win over Dustin Poirier, which is supremely impressive. Prior to that, a win over Rafael Fiziev, also impressive, close fight. And he has never fought Islam before. So one guy has lost him, one guy has never fought him before. One guy has, an 0-2 record in title fights. This would be his third crack at a belt. Another guy's a former champion who had the, opportunity to fight again for the belt, but it was taken away because of a cut. If you're doing a pros and cons thing, it is as tough a call as possible. Neither decision would make me say, "Oh my God, this is a horrible call." I could see the call being made for both. If you made me make a pick, you have to pick something right now. You got to make a call. I lean towards Justin only because the win over Dustin Poirier was super impressive, and I think a win over Poirier is more impressive than a win over Beneil Dariush, just in my opinion, especially the way in which he did it. B, he's never fought Islam before. Charles did get the title shot. They gave it to him. I know it wasn't his fault, but you got injured, so you had to remove yourself from the fight. Again, it's hard for me to argue one way or the other. If I have to make a call, I say they lean towards Justin, but I could totally see them going towards Charles, and I'll be very happy if Charles gets that opportunity again. It's a really tough one. I would think Islam would probably rather Justin just because it's a fresh matchup, and he had to rematch Volk, and maybe he wants something new to think about. And obviously, Khabib had great success against Justin Gaethje as well. I think Charles has the better chance and is the tougher fight, even though the first fight didn't go his way at all. I think he just has the skill set that might give Islam more trouble than Justin. But again, Justin is an absolute buzzsaw, and what he did against Dustin was super duper impressive. I'll get the guys' thoughts on that in a moment, but it's going to be really interesting to see where they go from here. I see some people saying have him go up to 170. That is hogwash. First of all, if Colby wins, makes no sense. And second of all, if Leon wins, he hasn't defended the belt enough. He's only defended it twice, and it was against the same guy. He just won the belt last October. So to have him go up to 170, no. And I know Volk just did it twice, but he's been the 145-pound champion for a lot longer, and there were less, he was lapping the division. He was being way more active than the rest of the division. Absolutely not. He's not the biggest 155er, and I don't think it's a big-time money fight. I don't think it's something that everyone's clamoring for, and there's a lot of guys at 170 that deserve a look as well. So it's not something that gets me supremely excited, and I don't think it gets the UFC supremely excited as well. I want to see how dominant, how long he can reign as 155-pound champion. So those are some immediate thoughts as far as the main event is concerned. And then you get to the co-main event, and what a scene this was. This was fascinating. I was so confident that Khamzat Chimaev would just steamroll right through Kamaru Usman. I just thought Khamzat, too big, too strong, too young, too fresh, had not fought since September of last year. And he's going up against Kamaru Usman, who's taking this fight on 11 days' notice. There's some rumors about his knee. He's obviously getting up there in age. Of a somewhat uninspired last fight against Leon Edwards back in March in the title fight. Is he going to be able to take him down? No. Will he have maybe success with takedown defense? Sure. But is he going to outstrike Khamzat? Does he have the power? Like, how is this going to happen? And honestly, in the first round, it looked like, oh yeah, he's going to win via first round, either TKO or submission, and Khamzat will be well on his way. I mean, no one gave Kamaru Usman that memo, because in the second round, it was vintage Kamaru Usman and then some. He looked fantastic in the second round. He won that second round fair and square. And I was like, holy shit, we're going into the third round here. Now, the first round could have been a 10-8. As I'm watching it, in the end, all the judges gave it to Khamzat 10-8. Duration, dominance, yes, not really damage, but I could see it. It was very one-sided. No issues with that. So I'm thinking in my mind, all right, Usman can either win this fight or at the very least draw, and that to me is a victory. 11 days notice against Khamzat, undefeated, sensation, buzzsaw, wow. And in the first couple minutes of the third round, it looked like he was actually en route to winning. Couldn't believe it. I was blown away by Usman. I mean, it's one of the most impressive things that I've seen by Kamaru Usman, and this is a guy who was, a welterweight champion. Couldn't believe that he was standing toe-to-toe there, and I know there were the takedowns and all that stuff. This dude took the fight on 11 days' notice and went in there and made Khamzat look very human in the third round. Now, you could say, all right, this is now the second time that Khamzat fights top-tier talent, and when the fight gets past the first round, he starts to lose some steam. Maybe this is a thing to look at as his career progressive. Gilbert Burns took him into deep waters. Kamaru took him into deep waters. Who knows? He alluded to the fact that he broke his hand, potentially. We've yet to get some clarity on that. That could obviously be a big thing as well. But for Kamaru Usman to go in there on 11 days' notice and do that against Khamzat Chimaev was supremely impressive. In the end, I gave the third round to Chimaev. And I see some people out there who are even giving the third round to Usman, but I gave it to Chimaev. And so that means he wins fair and square. But that was super close to being a draw. And if you didn't think the first round was a 10-8 for whatever reason, then, super close to Usman winning. He was the story of the fight. Kamaru Usman was the story of the fight. I really did not think that he was going to do that. I was not giving him any chance. In fact, I had to do a parlay, and I couldn't have gotten it any more wrong. In fact, I will say, I have the great honor of saying that I went 0 for 3 in my parlay. I said co-main event wouldn't go the distance, main event would go the distance, and the Bills would win. And thank you, Joe, for not bringing that up, that the Bills lost to the sad sack New England Patriots. It was a very depressing.
He did.
Oh, he did? Not to me.
No, he knew better.
Well, I appreciate that. 0 for 3. I mean, that is amazing. Why do you think I don't want to be part of the parlay? Boys, pals, I'm an embarrassment. Anyway, I did not think.
Well,
yeah, no.
We only say positive things around here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I did not think that he was going to go the distance. I didn't think that he was going to win. I didn't think that it would be that close. I was blown away. And after seeing that performance, and it's seeing the landscape and seeing the way that they were leaning, even though Khamzat himself didn't say it, but it seemed like the broadcast was certainly pushing this. If I'm Dricus du Plessis, I am pissed off. Why should Khamzat get a title shot over him? Dricus du Plessis just beat Robert Whittaker, the former middleweight champion. Dricus du Plessis has been active as a middleweight, beating top guys like Darren Till, like Derek Brunson, like Robert Whittaker, undefeated in the UFC as a middleweight. And Khamzat fights once in the past year against a welterweight. I don't know. I would love to see him get one more, and it seems like they're going to go in that direction. And maybe Dricus is still being punished for the, for having the audacity to turn down the 2-month turnaround fight against Izzy back in September. But I don't know, if you ask me, that to me is not the fight that gets you a title shot. Now, it seems like it's inevitable and it was going to happen. And quite frankly, I remember saying after 2020, like if he's not champion by the end of 2021, something has, gone horribly wrong. And now we're talking about him fighting for the belt in 2024 and he has yet to fight. It's crazy how long we've been talking about this being inevitable. So I can understand if they just want to, finally reward him. But I think Dricus du Plessis' resume at 185 is a lot more worthy of a title shot than Khamzat's at this point. At this point, Khamzat has a win over Gerald Meerschaert. He has a win over, Kamaru, which, it's Kamaru Usman, but he's a welterweight fighter. He's a welterweight champion, former welterweight champion. Dricus' win over Robert Whittaker is not getting him a title shot. How is that possible? How is that possible? So that's my thoughts on the co-main event. And one last thing that I will weigh in before we'll bring in the guys here. The Johnny Walker-Magomed Ankalaev fight was just a debacle on many different fronts. Number one, that should be a DQ. This whole thing where we're trying to decipher whether it's intentional or unintentional, you throw the illegal strike, you get penalized for it. That's the way it should be. Intentional, unintentional. What do you mean? Did someone force him to throw that strike? No, you threw the strike. It was illegal. It caused damage. Now, as I was watching the whole thing unfold between Johnny Walker and the doctor, definitely didn't get the impression that Johnny Walker was totally out of it and couldn't fight. But for whatever reason, and this has been talked about, and we're going to talk to Johnny about it in about 30 minutes' time, the doctor seemed to think that he couldn't continue and called the fight off, which was very unfortunate. And it seems like every time these two guys fight, there's always wackiness that goes on, especially Magomed. And it just seems like the light heavyweight division, ever since John Jones left, has been just mired in wackiness. From the draw last year to the injuries, vacating titles, all that. I mean, it's just crazy. Very unfortunate stuff. But what made it even weirder was once the fight was clearly waved off, like they were trying to fight each other, and Dana White had to walk in there. You saw him in one of the photos and diffuse the situation, which I give him a lot of credit for doing so because who knows how bad this could have gotten. They just have to run it back between the two of them, and hopefully we get a clear-cut winner. But I don't know what that doctor was thinking. And then, his role in the Victor Henry fight was bizarre as well. Victor in a ton of pain, and they're telling him, they're like, no, you didn't get hit below the belt. Like, what? And then Josh Barnett, his coach, saying he's throwing up and his testicles are the size of a freaking fruit. I mean, look at this guy. He was not faking. That was bizarre. And then we get to the Johnny Walker fight, and the same doctor is involved, and he's asking Johnny Walker, who is not, I know he lives in Ireland. I know he's married to an Irish woman, but it's not his first language. You're asking him questions, and you're doing it like a minute into the thing. Like, give the guy some time, let him catch his breath, and then you could determine, maybe even bring in a translator just to check that he understands what is being asked of him. You wave it off, and then it turns into a whole mess of a situation. So light heavyweight continues to be a mess. Hopefully this doesn't mean that we're going to get a mess of a situation come next month at MSG when the vacant title fight goes down between Yair Prochazka and Alex Pereira. All right, let's bring in the guys. Those are some thoughts regarding UFC 294. Obviously, much more to come. We got to talk about Shara the Pirate and many others as well. Muhammad Mokaev with a big win once again and is inching closer to getting that flyweight title shot that he's been talking about for a very long time. Let's go back to the main event, guys. What would you do? Actually, you know what? Let me ask you, Rick, your thoughts on Islam's win and my claim that he may have won once again, but he doesn't win like that if this is a, full training camp fight. Again, repeating the fact that I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but it does have to be brought up, I think, when talking about this fight. Alex took a chance on very short notice. I just don't think that's the best version of Alex Volkanovski because of the short notice fight.
Yeah, so as far as the win itself, like what needs to be said, like highlight real stuff, one that's going to be around forever, the calming the crowd down, this is no big deal after, the shush after, like iconic stuff from Islam from start to finish. Everybody knows what that was. Like there's no confusion there. As far as the short notice nature of it, I can agree with you that there's an impact on that, but I don't care to really unpack it for two reasons. For one, Islam Makhachev is also accepting this fight on short notice against Alexander Volkanovski, and that part often gets ignored or confused or disregarded.
Not the same. One guy's
yes, the same.
No,
what are you
one guy's
about?
going through a full training camp. The other guy's taking a fight on 11 days' notice. Not the same. I get that.
Changing opponents on 12 days, same thing.
Not the same.
Secondarily,
from a physical standpoint, it's not the same. From a physical standpoint.
Secondarily,
what are you talking about?
You don't get to bathe in the accolades of, wow, look at Johnny Big Balls over here, 12 days notice, this and that, and then have an excuse built in.
This is not the excuse. I'm telling you about I knew this was going to happen. I'm talking about the whole story of the fight. This has to be mentioned as a footnote, not as a talking point. It shouldn't even be a debate.
But why does it have to be mentioned?
Because
it doesn't need to be
mentioned. We just saw a full training camp fight in February. The guy's not getting knocked out.
Okay.
He might lose. He might have lost via third round submission. He might have lost via fourth round knockout. He's not losing first round knockout. It's just not happening.
So then why make the fight, or what are we supposed to do with this result?
Nothing.
If it was
he
irrelevant.
Deserves all. Please don't make this into me taking anything away from him, because I could see all the fucking people coming after me now saying you're taking something away. Islam is #1 pound for pound over John Jones in my book. He's the best lightweight on the planet. I still can talk about the fight and shower him with all the praise by also saying it ain't happening if it's a full training camp like that. It's just not. I believe that. No one else has to believe it. And I'm sorry I even asked the question, because I know what's going to happen now. Ariel's taking everything away from him, and I'm not. It's incredible what he did. But come on, that's not Alex. I saw Alex had freaking love handles. He never looks like that. You can't say that was the same guy that we've seen over the last 6-7 years. There's no way. There's no way.
Nobody's disagreeing with you there. That's fine to say. But my point is, I don't care.
Okay,
like,
that's fair.
I simply don't care. Like,
that's
he
totally
took
fine.
the fight and got head kicked. Like, that's the reality of the situation. If
he doesn't deserve another crack at it. I'm not even advocating for all that. We're in total agreement. I just feel the need to bring it up just because I think he's that damn good of a fighter, and I don't think he gets knocked out like that with a full training camp. That's it. That's my only point.
If he had won, though, we wouldn't be saying that. Like, we just say, okay, he did it. So I'm gonna go with that same route and say Islam did it, and rightfully is in the conversation as the top pound for pound. I would personally have John Jones, but there's nothing that I would judge anybody for having Islam #1. MMA Fighting's pound for pound rankings came out today, had Islam #1 unanimously across the panel. And yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I don't think Volkanovski falls too far down the rankings, and nor should he. Like, this is not his natural weight class. That is a fight that he took on short notice and is moving up to take an opportunity and suffer the consequences, and now we move on from there. As far as who I'd like to see Islam fight next, my answer, I agree with you to the letter. I think the fight that most people will be more interested, including Islam Makhachev will be more interested in, is Justin Gaethje, because it's a fresh matchup and how easily he dispatched Charles Oliveira. The fight that I, as a fight fan, would rather see is Charles Oliveira, because I think Justin Gaethje has kind of settled into a different mode of his career, where in the beginning of his career, he was very chaotic and unpredictable and basically throwing leg kicks until people couldn't walk, combined with some other attacks in the ring, but effective kind of fighter over the years. And I don't feel that style is the style that's going to be the one to dethrone Islam Makhachev. I think it's going to take somebody who's truly chaotic, like Charles Oliveira, if it's going to be done, if it's possible. So I would personally, if we're not looking at pay-per-view, if we're not looking at rankings, if we're not looking at anything but the matchup, who would you rather see? To me, the answer is Charles Oliveira, because I think the chaos that he brings and in the ability to scramble if he's in a bad position is more dangerous to Islam Makhachev, quite frankly, than this version of Justin Gaethje. But I'm not mad at either option. I would love to see either fight.
GC, who are you picking?
Yeah, I mean, half of me says Charles Oliveira had the fight booked,
Right.
so I don't see why he'd lose this shot because of an injury. The other half of me likes the Gaethje fight because it is a fresh matchup. We already saw Islam Charles last year. The result was, one-sided. He finished them. Who says it's going to be any different? I see what Rick is saying about the chaos that Charles Oliveira brings, but I do like the idea of a fresh matchup and the storyline behind it. I mean, Gaethje obviously fought Khabib and was unsuccessful, and now he gets a shot at his protege. So I like the storyline there and the success that he's been having lately. I mean, knocking out Dustin Poirier like that is something most people don't do. Going toe-to-toe with Rafael Fiziev and coming out the winner was super impressive as well. So it feels like this is the last go for Gaethje at getting gold. So I like that. But as you guys have both said, either of them makes sense. Whoever they book is
a tough one.
is fine, and I'll be excited with both. I mean, your poll, 47,000 votes or something, and it was like 50.3% for Charles. So I think whoever we get is
You know what I would like in a
good.
situation
I'll
like
be
this?
excited.
I would like them to ask Islam.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And,
listen,
and he says,
agreed.
yeah,
It's
I like
it's
that.
close. Who do you want to fight? What gets
Yep.
you excited? What's the challenge that you want? Something tells me he goes with Gaethje because he's a fresh name. Maybe
I don't want 170.
no.
I don't want 170. I
No.
mean, he's fought Volkanovski twice, who's a natural 145er. Let's get some 155 title
Yes.
defenses in there.
Fair to say that both of these, Oliveira and Gaethje, are both pay-per-view headliners, right? Neither of us, none
yeah.
of us.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Unless it's like a UFC 300 like thing where it's
yeah.
co-main.
So if given the choice to Islam Makhachev, both options are successful business for the UFC. I don't see a reason why not. Let him call his shot.
For
I
him,
think
it's
he's
like, man,
he's earned
I
that.
already beat Charles. It's probably going to do more buys than Gaethje. Let's just go ahead with Charles.
Yeah, why not? I think he would choose Gaethje actually, just based on the tenor that he had and the tone he had in the post-fight press conference. It seemed like he kind of feels like, I beat him so easily. Do we really necessarily need to run this?
I mean,
again?
that was my feeling
Fair
about
point.
the quick rematch here.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It was a 1 year later fight, and he had won one fight in between then, and I just didn't. It felt like he was getting the title shot because there was really no one else. You know what was weird about the
And he's a
buildup?
star, massive star.
And sure, absolutely, but usually you have to win like 2-3 after a loss like that. If it was a razor thin decision loss, then you get to run it back like Volka. It was funny hearing the promos for the Volk fight, and Dana was calling it one of the most anticipated rematches in UFC history. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
If it was one of the, if Volk Islam is one of the most anticipated rematches in UFC history, then why the hell did they not book it off the bat?
I think the hindsight argument might be that Charles and Islam is one of the most
Oh, fuck out of here.
anticipated.
Come on.
But I agree with you. Like if you're gonna build, like, yeah, I think they're making lemonade out of lemons there.
It was
like
more
they're trying
rhetorical,
to-
yeah. But like
Yeah.
just listening to that, I'm like, oh, get out of here.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. They did not want to do this. Was not first option. This was not option A. Otherwise, it would have been option A, right? Like we got this as option. Sounds like maybe B, C. Like it's not even necessarily B, right? It sounds like other people were offered this fight. Dustin Poirier on Twitter saying he was offered the fight as well. So Justin Gaethje saying he couldn't make the weight but was offered the fight. So it sounds like it was one of the options of many. But a great one. Like two top 3 pound for pound guys, no matter how you slice it, is always a good fight.
Loser of the sweepstakes fights Mateus Gamrot.
Man,
Yeah, I was just thinking, what are we doing with Gamrot? I mean, he went out there, he weighed in,
well,
backup fighter that wasn't really the backup fighter.
if it's Volk, no, right? Like I'd rather see Volk at 45. Wait, oh, sorry, Charles.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Yeah,
Charles
yeah.
and Charles and Gaethje. Yeah, I guess. I mean, man, you know who really gets a man? Fiziev is on the
Well, his
the
knee is
short
all
end of
messed
the. I
up.
know the short end of the stick on this
I
one.
mean, he's on the outside
Ugh,
looking. at
that
him
sucks.
The thing is, though, like if this title let's just like play this scenario out. Let's say this title fight happens. It's going to happen in like March or April, or I doubt maybe February, because then Ramadan comes and
Yeah, that's right.
at some point we presume Chandler McGregor happens. If Chandler beats McGregor, I could see them giving Chandler the next title shot. Chandler versus Islam. You know what I mean? He will be.
He's banging the drum on Twitter.
Yeah. So
So I guess it depends on if,
well, my point is like the loser of this sweepstakes is then going to have to fight Gamrot, who's super tough, but obviously not as popular. And then who knows what happens there? It's not like a guarantee that the loser just waits one more fight. Again. Like Chandler might pass all these guys by if he beats McGregor. And by the way, even if Conor pulls it off, Conor versus Islam,
yeah.
with that storyline, it's man, tough
You're
one.
right. Sitting in some circumstances is the best scenario, but this one you're right. Like if you sit, there's a real chance that somebody
He's going to pass you by.
is going to pass you in addition to whoever you're sitting behind. So yeah, but at the same time, as we've seen, right? If nothing else, this weekend proved that availability is a skill, right? Like sometimes sitting and waiting for your opportunity Alexander Volkanovski jumping on an opportunity, Kamaru Usman jumping on an opportunity, got them in this spot. So maybe there is some world where it works out in their favor if they're willing to sit out. But this is all the game now. This is all the risk. This is all the gamble that all these fighters are playing, because there really is no clear path to titles anymore. There is no meritocracy.
Man, and like think about Beneil Dariush, how far back in the line he is. And just 6 months ago, we're talking about if he beats Charles Oliveira, then he is almost cemented for a title shot. Like a guy like Arman Sarukian, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many options at 155.
Agree or disagree? Am I a hater for saying that we're not quite in the conversation yet of Islam being better than Khabib? I think we're approaching that conversation happening. But just for the record, Khabib's last 5 wins: Edson Barbosa, Ali Quinta, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. Islam's last 5 wins: Dan Hooker, Bobby Green, Charles Oliveira, Volk. So getting there, but plus, let's not forget, Islam was once knocked out in the UFC. Khabib never lost, hardly lost a round, maybe like 2 total. I don't think we're there quite yet, right?
100%.
Okay.
In agreement. The resume is still in Khabib's favor. What Islam has in his favor is I could see some people making the argument, and maybe this is happening. I can't say I saw it, but maybe it is happening, that Islam is more well-rounded, that Islam has a better game overall than Khabib had. Now, I think that might be underestimating Khabib's wrestling a little bit. I think he's still the more vicious and dangerous grappler. But on the feet, there's no doubt in my mind that Islam is far more advanced than Khabib was. He's a tough MFer. He's a very tough problem to solve when you combine those two things. So I could see that argument being made. And as far as the resumes, like, we're not long from Islam passing Khabib, and that's due to Khabib walking away early. Like that, you know, that's his doing, right? Like we can make that argument pretty soon.
Yeah, the story is still being written, and I mean, he's writing an incredible story right now. No matter what you say, 12 days notice or not, what he did on Saturday is going to be one of his top highlights for the rest of his career. And as we move on, the 12 days notice will kind of fade in to history, and it'll just be, look at him head kick KOing one of the greatest fighters that we've ever seen in round 1. And I mean, he has his sights set on 170 as well. He's made that known. If he becomes double champ, that changes everything for his legacy. So yeah, I mean, he is must-see television, and he is one of, if not the best fighters on earth. And I mean, there is potential for him to pass Khabib if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Do we care about the 170 fight? I don't.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's too many guys. There's too many options.
Right, too early.
Yeah.
But say he gets like 3 or 4 defenses at 155.
Yeah.
Shavkat Rakhmanov's waiting at 170. You know, we're talking about GOAT.
There's too much stuff. There's too much stuff in both divisions. It's not something that I'm dying to see.
We just got finished talking about how lightweight's not going to like probably sort itself out for a while, and then the idea of him going up to 70, which is, you know, he's just defended his title against a featherweight twice. That is what is causing a lot of this hold up. Like, I don't need to see.
Yeah,
that.
right now, absolutely not. Like, we need to get multiple defenses at 155 before we start talking about 170. 170 still has to
At the same time, I understand if you're Islam, right? Like, I just gave the champion below me 2 shots. Like, I want my shot, but we can't just keep doing it forever. The double champ stuff has gotten so out of control. Like, it's too much. It's too much.
Okay. Should Alex Volkanovski fight in January?
No.
Why?
No, because that was a vicious head kick, man. I mean, he got wobbled bad and then got rained down hammer fists on him. It's like, just take. I know he talked about how much he dislikes inactivity, but
what's up with this guy? You're watching that press conference. You think he hasn't fought in like 15 months? He's talking about July killing. Like, this is 3 months ago. 3 months ago.
And he's like begging the UFC. Like,
yes,
please do not keep me inactive. I'm like, brother, like,
yeah. Most champions are not fighting every 3, 4, 5 months. He's just different.
He is built different. Maybe it's that he still feels he's at the peak of his powers, but he's also aging at the same time. Like, he's getting up there in age, and he wants to get in as many fights as he can. But I mean, also the guy that he would be fighting in January is no walk in the park either. So you would really want him to have a full camp and be fully healthy and fully prepared for it.
I could just see a scenario where we're sitting here in January because Topuria is that good, and we're like, why didn't we learn anything from the Izzy fight or from the Izzy situation? Right? Izzy came back too often, too soon, too much on the plate. January's in 3 months. I don't know.
I hope the team around him will prevent this from happening.
I don't, man, they're different too. Like I don't know.
You said it would be heartbreaking. Like if say Volk went out there, fought Topuria in January, and he did get finished. Like that would be heartbreaking to watch. To go from like just dominant defense after dominant defense after dominant defense.
Yeah.
Super close fight with Islam too.
But
this and then
there's
potential in January.
There is a world. There's also a very distinct possibility. There's also a world where he comes back in January and absolutely blanks Ilia Topuria. That is not out of the question.
Of course, he's unbelievable.
But then there's a world.
My point is, I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it. That fight can wait. It can wait till February. It can wait till March. It can wait till April.
Whenever you guys want to do it, let's wait a little bit though. I mean, that is 3 months away.
There's no need for it.
Less than 3 months away.
The tough part is obviously we're putting ourselves in the mindset of people that are concerned for him and things like that. He just got done expressing how difficult it is for him mentally to not have that fight to prepare for not be in camp. It's very hard to walk that line of saying, hey, we don't want him to be in there for health purposes, for him to have time to rest and recover, and then for him to have just told us, if I'm not thinking about fighting, if I don't have a fight booked, if I'm not in camp, then I'm in a worse spot. It's a very difficult kind of thing to unpack, especially for somebody as relentlessly motivated as Alexander Volkanovski. Like, there is no easy answer here.
I saw Izzy just got some golf clubs. Maybe get some sticks for Volk, pick up golf, nice little hobby in the off season.
What's concerning is that he feels like 3 months is a long time. Like he needs to. I mean, it's sort of like a drug for them, right? We hear this from fighters, and he's at the top of the game. It's amazing to see some fighters pick up a belt, pick up a big win, and want to sit on that for so long, and he just wants to get right back on the horse. Like, that's the first thing that's out of his mouth in the post-fight interview in the cage. Please, please don't keep me on the sidelines for too long. Here he is fighting 3 months later and has a potential other fight in 3 months' time. That's why I bring up, like, I wonder how this is going to change the trajectory of his career, his fighting career, right? Will we look back on this result, this finish, as the moment where the dominance started to shed, it started to all crack, and people started to catch up to him? Because, Volkanovski isn't, he's in his mid-30s. I believe he's 35. Let me get that 100% correct here. But, yeah, he's 35. He just turned 35. Solid, but back into 35 is when things start to go awry. So, yeah, going to be really interesting to see if he fights on that card in January, and if not, who.
If you ask me to predict right now, I think that this will be more similar to Max versus Dustin at 55, where Volk will regain his stride pretty easily and quickly.
You want Max Topuria? Did I see you tweeting about that?
Oh yeah, I want that.
What is an interim title fight?
Why not? Sure. Sit out for a bit and let Max and Ilya.
And then you're faced with a situation with Max potentially winning,
Max
and then you're doing
That's
it.
fine.
No, I'm just saying.
Do it.
I mean, the third one wasn't very close. But.
I get it. I truly get it. I don't want to be a broken record on this. Ilia Topuria is a fresh contender and a challenge for Alexander Volkanovski. He has dispatched of many, many other challenges. There's not a lot for him there. But if Ilia Topuria cannot beat Max Holloway,
I get it. But
he's
that's
not the contender. He's not the contender that was going to beat Alexander.
I get that, but it doesn't like.
Yeah, that's MMA. There's MMA math involved.
Nah, but it's no. It's like Sean O'Malley didn't have to beat Corey and Murat. Everyone gets to play by a different set of rules, so it's not necessarily fair to make Topuria beat Max Hall. I get what you're trying to say.
Why not? It's not fair to Max either. It's not fair to Max if Max has to just be in this division and never get an opportunity at the title and never face the top guys.
I don't mind. I'm just bringing.
You're playing devil's advocate.
No, not even that. I'm just saying, if you book him in an interim title fight, then you can't deny him if he beats Topuria.
Oh,
another
Max,
crack.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Give it to him. Give it to him, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It's fine. Let them all get paid. Can we talk about the middle-weight division?
Actually, before we talk about this, could I just address an elephant in the room?
Sure.
We do the watch parties on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
We had Rick on during the main event. We provide him a stream, everything like that. Obviously,
great show.
So we're all in sync. Yep. Everyone's watching
that makes sense.
together, so we can all react. Rick went astray and had his own stream going.
Oh, he went rogue?
Yeah, completely.
Wait, what do you mean?
It sounds very Rick.
I mean, we have the
No. Hold on.
eye.
To be like strength for strength. Oh,
Oh, that is annoying.
You are ahead of us.
you definitely ahead of us.
Oh, how annoying is that?
No.
Is,
You guys have it wrong.
that is so annoying.
Wow.
You were like 5 seconds ahead of them.
Wow.
Oh yeah, solid. Enough for me to register that.
New York
I have
spoiler.
to say that was ruined a little
He even
bit.
looked over
Damn
at
it.
us.
What were you watching, Rick?
Are you watching our stream?
Damn it.
So-
Oh,
I love all the bets on the
wow.
screen. Volkanovski.
Yeah,
So-
Volkanovski.
You guys have this wrong. What had happened there was I saw the opening. The opening presented itself. Right? I'm seeing
okay.
Islam.
Okay. You saw it
Setting-
5 seconds ahead.
He's setting up the head kick there. I see Volkanovski
Sure.
not recognizing what's about to happen, and just unfortunate that.
Wait,
that
my
happened
question
that
is,
way. You guys will catch up.
I've been on the watch party. They do they not show you a feed?
No, we do. Of course we do. Yes.
Absolutely.
We're professionals over here. We provide a stream, so we're all in
It's-
sync. This happened during the Gaethje Poirier thing. We're all going crazy, and he's just kind of sitting there, just like schlumped. He's like, "Yeah, I saw it 5 seconds ago."
Wow.
seen it.
Why do you do that?
Old news.
Do you really want to pull back the curtain?
What
He's
was the
got-
line you
He's
gave me
got to be
earlier?
live.
You know, my main job is the social media.
Wow.
You need to be ahead.
that
you-
5
I need
seconds.
to. I need to be ahead of. I need to be ahead of the piss poor stream.
Forget the watch party. Forget the watch party. The integrity of the watch party.
Wow.
Let's get
This
the.
is like Schefter tweeting out
social.
news while on TV and
I
not actually
gotta-
saying it on
yeah.
TV. You care
Yeah.
more about the.
I gotta do what they pay me for. You know.
All right. Is this grounds for maybe thinking twice
Oh yeah,
about
yeah.
inviting?
Serious discussions.
Okay.
Serious discussions have been had about future guest appearances on the watch party.
All right.
I'll be
well,
heartbroken, but
I mean, we call him main event Rick, but I mean, I guess it's.
listen. You know,
Not
I
meant
just
to be.
New York
I saw
spoiler.
it. I saw it ahead of time. Me and Islam, same page. Just it was there, and beautiful kick by Islam.
This happened to me, by the way, when Leon knocked out Kamaru Usman. I was on a Zoom with Pizzi, and he's ahead of me by like 30 seconds and reacted. I was like, "Oh, something's about to happen." Leon. So it wasn't quite.
Yeah, it makes it nowhere near as
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I mean, that was like a crazy head kick too. I would have been
Yeah.
going pretty wild. Instead, I was just waiting for it to happen.
We just have a few minutes before Johnny Walker joins us, so I want to get your reaction to my stance that this is not enough for a title shot from Khamzat Chimaev, that it should go to Dricus du Plessis, that the way the fight went and the results, if he would have gone out there and smoked him, maybe, but man, Dricus deserves it. I'm sorry. He deserves it.
Should/deserves, yes. Will, no.
Oh, no. I know what's happening, but I'm just saying, I don't think that it should be, I don't think we should just like, the guy beat Robert Whittaker. He's undefeated at middleweight
Finished.
in the UFC. Finish Robert Whittaker.
Smoked.
Yes.
Destroyed.
Smoked him.
How is this being forgotten? Is this all because he said no?
Because he was so, for better or worse, he was tied to Israel Adesanya. That is the problem.
So is it Strickland Chimaev is just a bigger fight?
His whole
Oh,
campaign,
yes.
his whole thing was, I'm going to be the man who dethrones Izzy. Unfortunately, he got beat to the punch. He passed on the opportunity to take it on short notice, and Sean Strickland stepped in and took it. Again, we were just talking about this when it came to the lightweight division and many other things. The opportunities, when they come, if you do not take them, there are potential consequences. He is suffering those consequences, and he was too tied to Izzy, unfortunately. I feel for him. Deserves, do not exist in MMA. But if you look at the resumes, there is absolutely no doubt, and there is nobody who has even close to the resume that he has. And if we're being honest about it, Jared Cannonier, unfortunately, revealed, I believe Submission Radio had the interview with him, that he's injured and was offered the fight. But Jared Cannonier has a win over Sean Strickland, and he should be ahead of Khamzat Chimaev too. So that's just not how this sport works, though. That is.
Well, that's what we were just talking about with O'Malley.
Yeah.
And all that. And, like, everyone gets to play by a different set of rules and have different paths. GC, were you not shocked that it went? I thought he was just going to steamroll in there first round.
What was happening in the first round is what I expected, but I thought he was going to get the finish. I thought he was going to lock up a choke or just like rain down the ground and pound and get the finish. And then when he came out, like, essentially gassed in the second round. He didn't do anything. I mean, they kind of just stared at each other, and Usman had the bigger moments. He dug deep, and I thought he won the third round, and I thought he got a 10-8 in round one. And, like, I kept reminding myself, 10 days notice, off the couch, whatever, 2 straight losses. It still was Kamaru Usman that he beat, like one of the best of the best. Like he still got the win over him. But yeah, when it comes to the title shot, who could argue against what you just said? DDP's coming off a dominant finish victory over a former middleweight champion who was still at the peak of his powers, and Khamzat did go to a decision, a close decision. I mean, one of the judges scored 28-28 against the welterweight that was on 10 days' notice, and then the Jared Cannonier argument too. But what's going to happen is Khamzat Chimaev's going to
Is Strickland Khamzat big enough for UFC 300? USA versus Russia. Given Strickland's newfound fame,
main event. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what.
I don't know, dude.
In the absence,
it's a big ass fight.
bro.
It's a big ass fight just because of what they represent.
Fight.
Because
in
of
the
what they.
absence of Connor, what's bigger than that potentially? Like that's a pretty big fight.
It's crazy. Yo, the trash talk before that fight is going to be nuts.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great, man. I mean, Strickland's already at it. He's just like, yeah, give me the fight, man. He's going to sell more. It's going to be a paycheck for me, but he doesn't deserve it. Yeah, I like the way Strickland is going about it. He's
I don't believe this to be true when I ask the question, so please, again, everyone calm down. But is it appropriate to have a conversation that Khamzat is overrated? Or is that unfair?
I think that's fair to ask. I don't think that's out of bounds. I think we've seen you mentioned this earlier. Like in the 2 times that we've seen him against what you would consider like the upper echelon competition, right? All due respect to Kevin Holland, one of my favorite fighters, that fight was a foregone conclusion. When we saw him against Gilbert Burns and we saw him against Kamaru Usman, he looked fallible, right? He did not look like the guy who's going out there and smashing everybody and walking through them with ease. That said,
he's not losing.
He's not losing. That's his 6th, 7th UFC fight. And Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman are the cream of the freaking crop. Like, to beat them by decision is still better than the rest of the world. Like, you're still the guy. So I think it's fair to ask, is he the guy that the boogeyman that has been presented, the boogeyman that we've made him out to be? I think that's completely fair. But are we grading him on a different scale than everybody else? I'd say probably yeah, too. Like it seems like he's being graded against something that might be unfair to him.
I have another hot take. That fight goes 5 rounds. I think Usman wins.
I think so,
the
too.
cardio didn't seem to be, one of the strong suits of Khamzat.
Crazy, right? That's crazy, man. Who's been taking this fight on 11 days' notice, up a weight class. I know Khamzat has fought at 172, but
did I read correctly that Kamaru was offered 5 rounds? I felt I read that somewhere, but maybe I'm...
That I don't know. The other thing, like, it will go underrepresented because Usman is the one stepping in on short notice. Khamzat hasn't fought since last September. And and that fight was against Kevin Holland on short notice, which was the switch with Nate Diaz after he missed weight. His last real, like, competitive fighting opportunity was against Gilbert Burns, which I believe was in April of last year.
Yeah.
Like, that matters. Like, that matters a lot. The dude has not been in the cage. And I think that will kind of get, like, pushed aside, and people will look for an opportunity to kind of say how bad Khamzat looked. But if you can beat Kamaru Usman on short notice, I'm gonna give him credit for that.
Got 4 takedowns, and he was very close to locking that choke in round 1.
But
had he done that, then this is a whole different conversation. So, like, there were still impressive moments from him.
But to circle back, I don't think that what you're asking is unfair at all. Is the ceiling lower than we thought for Khamzat Chimaev is a real question that I think can be asked.
Yes, is the ceiling lower than expected? I like that.
All right. We'll talk more about 294. We continue the conversation now with one of the particulars, a man who I was talking about 30 or so minutes ago, unfortunately involved in a very bizarre and frustrating and unceremonious ending. He fought Magomed Ankalaev. Unfortunately, they fought to a no contest. That's what it was ruled, although I thought, as I said about 30 minutes ago, that it should have been a DQ loss for Ankalaev. In the end, it was strange, and it was it was testy towards the end. Dana White had to diffuse the situation, and so we want to know how Johnny Walker is feeling, his thoughts on the fight, and where he goes from here. He's kind enough to join us. He's still in Abu Dhabi. He joins us now via Zoom. Johnny, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. I appreciate the time and you coming on. I know it's late over there. First things first, I know you were hit with a knee. You were probably not expecting the knee because you were a down opponent. How are you feeling about 2 days later?
Now still very upset, Clear was intentionally a guy very experienced like him, like he's number 2 in the world. He's been fighting for many years, more than 10 years. So he know what the position that we were, right? And I think he saw that because he wasn't hitting me when I was striking in the middle of the octagon. So I take the risk to do the fly knee, and then he capitalized, put me down, and hold my hand. But losing his position. I was almost standing up. He could wait 1 second to I stand up because he lost the position, that advantage that he had. Because I get away, I was stand up, and he hit me fucking big knee on the face. It's very frustrated because I wasn't expecting that. I took the knee on my face, in my jaw. Like I'm tough motherfucker. Because it was any other one, probably you're gonna faint and sleep, you know. I just took the shot. I was very disappointed because it was really dirty move, you know.
When he connected on the knee, can you tell us like how that made you feel? Like, did you feel dizzy right away? Did you feel out of it? Like, what were you experiencing when he connected?
He I think he was actually, he take a little bit advantage because he landed one shot, a good shot on a good spot that could put me out. So he was in advantage there, and I feel like fuck. Look, I was like very like in shock because I look at him. I told the ref like he hit me on the knee in my face. I don't know what I was feeling on that time, you know, because we're very focused on the fight. Like it's a fight for the supposed to be a title shot fight. I was so focused for everything, to do everything right. I was very calm on the floor, and you know, and very conscious in everything that I was doing. I was very comfortable on that position. And from nowhere, boom, knee in my face. Like I was shocked after, and I like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
It's just shocked.
Okay, and so then we see the referee and the doctor come towards you. Doctor comes into the cage and starts speaking to you. I'm sure you've probably rewatched it, but like, could you tell us what you remember about the conversation and the questions that the doctor was asking you? Because it was hard to hear on the broadcast. What was he asking you?
Yeah, he asked me if I want to continue to fight. I said yes. He said what I was. I don't want to say the wrong question because I know what that was a assignment. Like he was doing the test, right?
Yeah.
And I want to say the right answer. So I thought to say Abu Dhabi, like if Abu Dhabi, I'm fuck no Abu Dhabi. Then I said, I'm in the fucking desert, bro. I'm here, I'm good, you know? And then
do you think he didn't like that answer? You said, so he asked you, where are you right now? And you said, I'm in the desert.
I said on the middle of on the sand, bro. I'm on the desert. I'm in the Middle East, you know.
And he
also, like, you know, I can speak good English, you know. And then the doctor wasn't on his native language, so he probably have a very heavy accent as well. I understand what he's want to say, but I tried to explain him what I was doing the right answer to him, you know. Like, but you know, in the middle of the situation, like maybe the fight for the title shot and everything, you don't know, my mind is on going like 1,000 miles an hour as well, and I had received a shot in my face, and I was okay to fight, but even on my last fight against Anthony, he said I attacked his family. I have no idea what he's talking about. I attacked my family. What? You attacked my family? Like what? You know, I didn't understand. Like the same situation. It's a very complicated situation because you were 1,000 miles an hour. So you're fighting for your life, your career. You know, hopefully get a title shot after, and everything's over. Like it's very, very disappointing.
Yeah, I can understand. And to be clear, he asked you, can you continue? And you said yes.
Yes.
And was the only like test question that he asked you, where are you right now? Did he ask you, you know, how many fingers, anything like that? Or was it just that one question? And because you said desert and not Abu Dhabi, he waved it off. I'm just trying to understand why he felt that he could wave it off. Like what he was seeing that, you know, that the rest of us weren't seeing.
Yeah, I think that was it. And maybe he asked me about which fight is that. Maybe I answer like, bro, it's a fight, very important fight. It's fight for I get the title shot for the champion. Come on, like I was trying to show that I was okay. Like I was getting dispirited a little bit because I don't want the fight to stop. And we trained so hard for that moment, and I was a little bit dispirited on that moment as well.
Yeah,
no?
You could have kept going. You feel confident. You were good to go.
I think he should give me like 5 minutes first.
100%.
To I get the set me down, no? And then he come ask the question. Maybe he bring a fucking translator as well if he can speak my language properly.
Yes, I mentioned actually both of those things before you came on, that I don't understand why they were so quick to call it off. Did you get any explanation why they were so quick to call it off and didn't give you a little bit more time to at least recover and calm down? Did anyone explain that to you?
No.
No.
Give me time to calm down, to recover. And like, if it was like kick on the balls, I have 5 minutes to recover, right?
Right.
A knee on the face, no, I have nothing to recover. A knee on the face, illegal on the face. Do you know what I mean? It's more disappointing also because happened the same thing with Aljamain, and he became a champion with a knee like that, and I don't want to become champion, but maybe could take points out of him or the fight continue, or maybe he disqualify him or whatever as well, because it's a legal shot. He could put me out, bro, in a very legal shot. I could have damage in my brain or something, like, before that I give a really clean legal and intentional knee, like on the middle. I can fly knee here. I did, right? But I didn't. I missed. But on the floor, bro, the rules. Like, it's very dirt move.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
No, I understand why you're upset. And this whole thing, it's one thing that drives me crazy about MMA. Intentional, unintentional. If you throw the illegal strike, that's intentional. Like, you're no one's forcing you to throw it. So did anyone explain to you why they decided to call it a no contest? Because intentional as opposed to a DQ, intentional. Does anyone give you answers in the back about any of this?
Nobody said nothing to me, bro. If you're on the fight, everything you throw is intentional.
Yes.
You have the intention to hit. Nobody said I sleep unintentionally. No,
Right.
He fucking have the position to throw. It's intentional. His brain give the command. Like, what the fuck?
What is going through your mind? Because I saw when they waved the fight off, you got upset and you pushed the referee and you wanted to start fighting.
You don't want to take him points out. You don't want to disqualify him. I want to keep fighting. Let's fucking fight there anyway. Because, bro, it's so much hard work. It's a dream. It's a career. Many people depend on me. It's my family, my future. And I was like, what the fuck? I want to fight everyone here then. Like, I was losing my mind.
Did he say anything to you? I saw a couple times, even at the end, like you guys kind of talked and then he kind of pushed you a little bit. Do you remember what he was saying to you and what you said to him?
He's trying to say something, but he said in Russia. My Russia is not very, very good yet.
I think you lived in Russia for a little bit, right? Didn't you live there for a second or train there?
My brother lives in Russia now. My brother lives in Moscow.
Right. So he was talking to you in Russian. You have no idea what he was saying to you?
Not yet.
No.
There's so many different languages. I was on the desert. Then I have to go to Russian and Arabic or Russian, English and Portuguese, and it's too much.
Right. No, I get it. And what did you say to him?
I don't remember right now.
Okay. I did see Dana White go into the cage to try to calm everyone down, and I heard him say to you, "I'm going to make this right. I'm going to make this right." What does that mean to you?
Yeah.
What is he doing to making this right?
I don't know, bro. I can't wait to know because I have no idea. I hopefully he make this right. Like, it's so much investment, and it's just disappointed. And I still here on the desert, right?
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi, but I'm going to Ireland in a few hours. But come back and wait for the decision. What's going to happen next? And just have to wait. Have nothing to do. Check if you have any injuries and see what's the next step to do.
One thing that I always think about in these situations is not only are you robbed of the result, but potential money as well. Are you on the show win contract situation, and are you not getting a win bonus because it ended in a no contest?
Probably I'm not getting the win bonus or not. I don't know which money I'm gonna get. Like, I spend so much money on this fight, bro. I book a big house for my whole team. I book everybody flights. My wife come with me. It's so much money. I'm on the red now. I can't wait to receive some money I can start paying my bills. But it's just sad because I was doing so good on the fight, bro. He didn't touch me. No significant strike when I was striking. I'm 100% sure I could finish him and knock him out. But now it's just, it's disappointing.
When I hear that Dana White is going to make it right, to me, what I think of, they're going to pay you the show and win, and they'll do an immediate rematch. Would that be okay for you? Would that make you happy? Would that suffice?
if this happen, yeah, but I think they just pay my show. They don't pay not yet, but I think they have a few days more so
Right.
they can pay. But they can pay the show, and the win is gonna be good. They don't need to give me the win, you know. But if they paid for everything, I'm happy, you know. I don't mind because we here for the money, bro.
Of course.
It's a career, you know.
I mean, someone was
We
going
love
to get
the
that
sport.
win bonus.
Enjoy myself. You see, every time I octagon, enjoy myself. I do what I love. I love this job. UFC is great for me. It's changed my life, you know. But of course, we need money to survive, you know.
Do you want an immediate rematch?
I have just checked my foods, and if I get him, bro, I'm really upset with him, and there's no more nice thing between, you know. Like this. I never had how to say, an enemy. I never hate nobody in the game, but boy, it's a really dirt move, bro. He deserves to pay that shit.
You think he's a dirty fighter?
That was dirty.
What is wrong with your foot? What happened?
I did a lot of kicks on him, so it's just a little bit bruised.
Okay. Are you worried it's broken?
Hopefully not. I'll check when I come back to Ireland.
Okay.
I can walk.
There was one moment right before that sequence where he punched you in the stomach and you kind of like went down like this and then you threw the flying knee. Did you fake that? Was that a fake on your part?
If I really feel the punch, he punched hard. Do you think I'm gonna fly knee after?
No, I know. It was great. I love that sequence.
If I feel the punch, I'm gonna go down and stay down.
It was brilliant. It was very Johnny Walker.
I just took the punch. I'm like a tank, bro. I took the fucking knee on the face and I wasn't out. Imagine a little punch on my belly. Come on.
That's right. You know what's crazy about the knee? Initially, in real time, it doesn't even look like it hit you that hard because you took the knee. And then in slow motion, it's like, holy shit, this thing really like smacked you hard. But because you were so unfazed in real time, you have an incredible chin.
I don't know in slow motion. When I fly knee, I was still on the air and I hit him with a hook as well. I was on the floor. I was in the air. I missed the knee, but I hooked him as well 2 times.
Wow.
One time before I touched the floor, I was flying. It's crazy. I didn't know that I can do that shit. I was watching, what the fuck? It's crazy.
How many times have you rewatched it, the whole fight? I mean, it's just 3 minutes. How many times have you watched it?
I don't know. I lost count because I was happy with my performance. You know, I was studying, getting ready, setting up, feeling his powers and feel everything. Like I feel that he have nothing else. Like I feel his power, his technique. He have good technique. You know, he get my arm, but I block everything. I was getting away, and when I was standing up to reverse and do my shit, he hit me with a leg on him.
Yeah, I can't imagine how frustrating it is. So I don't blame you for watching over and over again. And, you know, you brought up something that I think should be done. Here you have a situation where there's a fight in Abu Dhabi. There's a doctor speaking to a Brazilian, and his English might not be, you know, his first language. Your English isn't first language for you. Obviously, you can speak. There should always be a translator just to make sure 100% that everyone is on the same page, right? Do you think that needs to start happening from now on? They bring in a translator in a situation like this?
Yeah, and give 5 minutes at least. If the guy is not really out, you know, you give him time to just record because it was a legal shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then a translator as well. You know, give him 5 minutes, ask him after, you okay? You want to keep going? Okay, I'm okay, I'm good. I think I recovered. Let's keep going. But it just was so quick and like no time to think, you know?
Yeah, and this doctor, did you know that he was the doctor in the previous fight with Victor Henry, and he was telling him that he didn't really get kicked in the balls and
feel the balls, the guy balls, yeah.
Yeah, crazy, right? In that fight, he doesn't believe him, and in this fight, he thinks that you're out. It's like the complete opposite.
Yeah. So,
do you talk to the doctor afterwards? Does he check with you? Do you see nothing in the back? There's no resolution.
Nobody want to see me after the fight, my friend, because I was nervous.
Right. You were very upset. Okay, so in a perfect world, I think they run it back and then you get a chance to fight for the belt. Did they tell you before this fight that if you would have beaten him, you would have been next in line for the title shot? Did anyone say that to
told
you?
me nothing. Nobody told me not. But imagine I beat the number 2 in the world. What you want next? The
Right.
division is like fucking mess. You're gonna come to the division to clean this shit up and be the fucking man there, you know?
Yeah, it is a mess. And this is second straight fight for Magomed where something weird happens, right? The last one he had a draw. A lot of people were counting you out going into this fight. Did you feel disrespected by that? They thought that he would, be able to outmuscle you, out-wrestle you, all that stuff. Did you feel like that was disrespectful?
Yeah. No, say it again. I don't understand what you're saying.
A lot of people thought that, that he would give you a very hard time going into the fight. Did you hear any of that stuff? And did you feel...
Oh, yeah. It wasn't a hard time. Like, he lost his best position, bro. He was dominated on top of me. He had my hand trapped.
Mm-hmm.
And he was lost the position because I was standing up. I was like, I get my on the hook and I was standing up. Before I stand up, he hit me with the knee because I think he get like, fuck, he have the on the hook. He's standing up. He just hit me with the knee. Mm-hmm. What else he have? Nothing because I was standing up, His best position he was losing because that position is strong, and I was getting away. So this just showed like I can't on the hook. I can't wrestle. I have bro. I'm doing this sport for more than 10 years. I'm learning stuff, I have my master here already,
Yeah. No, you were looking great. In your heart, if the fight resumed, what do you think would have happened? What were you feeling was about to happen in that fight?
I'm probably going to hit him with some elbows or probably take him down because the best option to take somebody down is when he lose the position when what was happening, because he thought I was going to be standing and fighting and maybe he shoot again, but I will probably take him down and stay on top. I want to see what he do with a big guy with me on top of him, hit him with elbows and stuff, and if he stand up, we're going to keep striking. I'm going to fight it. I can do so much stuff. And I'm just going to be creative and do my best to finish the fight. Yeah, I don't care if he's on the strike or on the floor, choke him out, or whatever happen. Whatever they give for me, I'm going to capitalize. I'm going to choke him. I'm going to get an arm lock or fucking ankle lock, everything.
And your confidence was growing because of how the first 3 minutes was going.
Yeah, 100%. Because I feel him. I feel like I was like doing good. Like he didn't hit me on the mid of the octagon. I was like dominating everything. He gave me a high kick. I block. Boom. He gave me. The only shot that he hit me good was this on my belly, and I almost knocked him out.
That was crazy. By the way, on a less serious note, I saw you. Were you drinking apple juice with gold flakes in it? What is that drink that you were drinking? I saw. Was it real apple juice or?
Apple juice with gold, 24K.
What are you talking about?
Gold.
Really? No alcohol?
No alcohol. I don't drink alcohol.
Yeah. So who gave you that?
I said, that is gold. I want to buy that shit. It's a champ life, my friend. It's starting.
And how much is that? Is it expensive with the gold?
It's $250, like I think $60, $70 something.
Okay, that's not too bad. Did it taste good?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, nice. Overall, was the experience in Abu Dhabi good other than what happened on Saturday? Did you like fighting there?
Yeah, everything good. He spend more time because it's amazing. Good food and a lot of attraction. The beach is nice as well. And I didn't have much time to go much around because I was focused on the fight week. I just have yesterday and today to do stuff, and I'm leaving now. It's too quickly.
Yeah.
So when I'm traveling place like this, we need to take a week after, to stay and enjoy more and explore.
In a perfect world, when do you want to return?
As soon as possible. Just have to be injury free and see if you have any significant injuries. If not, I'm ready because we are fighting, we are tough, bro. And what's hurt more on us is too many company trainings on top of each other because we have a little inflammation, little micro injuries, and then boom, when you see what's happening with like Gilbert Burns, he was like how many fights straight to wins? He was fighting. Wasn't the fight that was hurting him, it was the company training because we had to train hard to fight on that level.
Yeah.
Too much inflammation, too much impact, company training on top of each other. One time your knee popped, like what happened to a kick as well. He need just blow up itself. He was stepping back because why? Because little injuries, too much kicks, too much. Your body's loading. You have just to be careful because we never know when the next injury gonna happen. Maybe you need surgery. So have to look after yourself. And I was checking everything, but
Yeah.
we never know when something gonna pop out.
And I'm sure you're going to be watching the title fight next month. By the way, who do you think wins, Alex or Yuri?
Bro, I'm sure this fight is gonna be somebody gonna get lights out because both are really good striker,
Yeah.
right? Both strong guys, but both is not very tight on the defense. Both fight really like Giri is very loose, very hand down and stuff. He move good, but Pereira as well. His hands is very low. He boom, boom, boom. But I think the guys have to improve a little bit more boxing defense as well because, bro, 205 hit hard.
Yeah.
And one little jab can go out,
Final thing.
Good.
If he's watching, what is your message to Magomed Ankalaev? I think he can understand that even if he doesn't speak English or Portuguese or anything. I'm really sorry this happened, Johnny. I think you should have won via DQ, and I wish the fight would have continued and we could have seen an actual winner. But
I was enjoying the fight. I was enjoying so much, but you see what happened.
Hopefully they make it right for you, whatever that means. I appreciate you coming on. Safe travels home to Ireland for you and your family. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. Obrigado. There he is, Johnny Walker joining us. A very upset Johnny Walker, and I can understand why. There's a lot of cases to be made. Number one, that the fight should have just continued. Number two, that he should have won via DQ. I weighed on this earlier. I didn't ask the guys about it. Rick, what do you think should have happened? I agree.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. Wow. Corporate Alex really throwing you under the bus there with the shot of you putting on.
I haven't been liking a lot of these cuts to me that have been happening lately. It feels very pointed. Maybe we need to
social's the priority.
chill on that.
It'll always be the priority.
Hey, listen, you guys don't. Hey, you know what, Ariel? Talk to Connor when the clips don't go out. It's on Connor now.
I wanted to know your thoughts. Don't come after me. I didn't know. I don't know what's going on back there.
I'm looking around, not seeing a lot of allies at the moment. So
I went you first. I would like to know your thoughts. You've been watching.
Connor has some thoughts.
No.
Alex with the cuts. So you know what, guys? Ariel, you take it up with these guys over here.
You're not going to answer the question?
DQ. DQ is what should have happened there. If the doctor is going to say that Johnny Walker is not able to continue is because a result of that knee, then there's only two options: DQ or the fight continues. So if he's saying
makes sense.
If he's saying that Johnny Walker can't continue as a result of that knee, DQ. Aljamain Sterling. Johnny Walker said it himself. It's the Aljamain Sterling thing. If he cannot continue, DQ.
Yeah.
If he can continue, step out of the way and let them fight. Those are really the only two options. I don't understand. Somebody would have to explain to me how we arrived at no contest. That I don't understand.
It's this thing where it's like, oh, it was unintentional. What does that mean, unintentional? I don't understand. He threw it. It was an illegal strike. Remember, we always talk about the Anthony Smith fight against John Jones. If Anthony couldn't have continued, Anthony would have been the champion because that would have been a DQ loss. It wouldn't have been a no contest.
We assume, but just based on how this is looked lately, we don't even know that's true.
That is true. Yo, if I'm Peter Yan, I'm like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
I lost my belt.
Truly.
You know?
Legitimately. Like
I know
we're like
it changed the trajectory of his life.
Yeah.
That mistake. But I mean, it was the right call against Aljamain. It wasn't the right call for Johnny Walker. It really wasn't. Could you imagine spending 3 months of your life or 4 months? Oh, his last fight was in May. So what's May? Yeah, like probably 4 months of your life preparing for a moment. And then some doctor is like, no, I don't think that you can continue. And then some ref is like, nah, let's make it a no contest. Like that is a double kick in the balls right there.
Yeah, completely agree.
While not giving him the full 5 minutes.
While not giving him the full 5 minutes, while asking him a question, where are you? And he says desert, which technically he's correct. And oh, by the way, they say make it right. What does make it right mean? To me, when I heard that, I was like, oh, good on them. You know, I gave Dana credit. He walked in there, he diffused the situation. But ultimately, what does a fighter care about? You know, it was interesting when people were talking about the Volk fights, like he's just doing this for the money. And my take on that was like, yeah, and of course he's just doing. What do you think he's doing this for? Why is doing something for the money a bad thing, especially in fighting? Get all the money you can get. It's called prize fighting for a reason. None of these titles mean anything. You can't deposit a title, so of course do it for the money. And so making it right for Johnny Walker to me is, all right, you can't change the result. Pay him his win. Pay him his win. Run it back. Or give him a number one contender fight, or give him the next title shot if Jamal Hill isn't ready.
Agree with all that. I think when Islam and Habib has said this in the past, like they're just showing up for the money. I think the implication is like they know they're not going to win. That's the implication. Not necessarily that like, you know, there's another motivation beyond money. But I mean, I think it's very clear. Alexander Volkanovski is not somebody who's only or even primarily concerned about money. Sure, money does it, but if you saw the emotion from him after the fight, legacy, winning a second title, those things were very important. And by the way, I don't believe Islam believed that in any part of him. I think he knew what Volk was there to do. And it was nice to see them cordial with each other after the fight as well.
Yeah, even today, I saw a photo of them together outside a restaurant or something.
I think Javier Mendez snapped that of them outside. So yeah, like those two are the best of what we've got in this sport for sure.
GC, run it back?
The main event or Johnny Walker Magomedov?
No, main event. No, Johnny Walker.
I mean, we were just talking about
what's going on back? What are you guys
Alex,
doing back
I mean, there's
there?
things for work that we have to do back here. I mean, we're
Well,
should I not keep going back to you guys? I mean, I feel I'm trying to
listen,
be.
we're talking about Islam and Alex, and then you're like, should we run it back, man?
Frank, should we run it back?
Let's do
Oh my
it.
God.
Thank you.
Yes, you have to. You have to. Both these guys this close to the title, for it to end like that, which I'm still mind blown that it's not a DQ. I mean, we have the picture right here. Like he knees a clearly downed opponent.
Yeah.
Directly in the face.
Directly. By the way, in real time, it's like, oh, did it hit his shoulder or did it graze him? And then you look at the replay and it's like, holy shit, that really did land.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
about that sequence where he gets punched in the stomach right before and then he fakes
I thought
it?
he was out. I thought he was going to go out. I thought that was a liver shot.
Here's the potential issue. Do we want to make all fouls illegal from the first time?
Yes. Please. Please. Yes. Yes. You're throwing below the belt. By the way, below the belt, DQ.
So
DQ.
as an example, like Bashrat, right?
Oh no, I don't mean
now.
No, wait. Just for the record, if the guy can't continue, I mean, I don't mean like
Victor Henry could not continue. So
yes.
Bashrat is DQ'd.
Yes.
See, that's where I can't get on the train with that. I understand the impulse for it, and I understand the justification for it, and I mostly agree with it. Examples like that are where I can't say like Bashrat deserves to lose that fight.
It's just so hard when you try to look. I know below the belt, especially in MMA, is tough because like you're kneeing someone in the stomach, you might graze. It's tough. It's way tougher than what we just saw with Johnny and Magomed. But I just feel uncomfortable with the intentional debate.
We're
Who's
leaving it in the
this?
hands. Yeah, the referees and the ringside commissioners and people like that are the ones ultimately determining these things. I think it's fair to say like they've get a fair number of these incorrect. But I can't quite get to the everything is illegal point, even though I know that there's a very logical reason to say that. I
feel more comfortable with that.
At
than
least
the
take a
opposite.
point. The Nathaniel Wood fight, there had to be a point taken there. Like there had to be. He got hit below the belt twice, and there was a fence grab. It's like, how many warnings can you give? What's the point of enforcing the rules if all you're ever going to do is give warnings for it?
Bingo.
There's a certain point where my
that hit Frank's close to home. We'll talk about that later.
Mr. Referee. But there's a point where I can't in good conscience keep saying like, well, I don't feel comfortable with that. We have to leave it to their discretion, and then they continue to get it wrong. Maybe the answer is just everything is illegal from first foul. Maybe that is the best of what we're going to
And
get.
if you're going to have a whole conversation with Johnny, maybe go have that conversation with Magomed. Did you mean to throw it? Did you not mean to throw it?
Yeah.
Why did you throw it? Let's have a conversation about that too. Why does the guy who threw the illegal strike get off scot-free? Makes no sense.
It's fair.
All right, let's move along. The world is going to stop, my friends, on Saturday when our guy, Le Prédateur, the pride of Cameroon, the pride of France, the pride of humanity, Francis Ngannou, is going to go into Saudi Arabia and potentially shock the world when he goes in there against the lineal heavyweight boxing champion, the one and only, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. They all said he was making a mistake when he bet on himself against Cyril Gane. They all said he made a mistake when he didn't take the deal that the UFC was offering to fight John Jones. They all said he made a mistake when he signed with the PFL. They all said he made a mistake when he wanted to box. What are they going to say on Saturday night when Francis Ngannou walks into that, 20 by 20 ring, 24 by 24? Who knows? Who cares? Potentially shock the world to do what no MMA fighter can do, and that's beat a boxing champion. Let's go all the way to Saudi Arabia now and say hello to Le Predateur, Francis, my guy.
Hello, Arya. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, my friend. Oh, I wish I can hug you right now. This is incredible stuff. I can't believe we're almost there. We're just days away now, Francis. Tell me, what is the vibe like in Riyadh right now? Can you paint a picture for us, for those that aren't there? How are you feeling? What is the scene like for you?
The scene out here for me, royalty. Right?
They're treating you
royalty.
well?
They're treating me great. Very, very great. I've been here for 2 weeks already. And then I'm here. I came with my family, some of them. And some part of them are arriving today. And every time it's like 10 people come in and they're taking care of everything. Everybody set us up. Hey, royalty treatment. Unbelievable.
You've never been treated like this before?
No, bro. It's a level up. There's level and this is some different level. Like, we are in the hotel and there's like my team and my family. We are already about 20 people, and then we are indeed the hotel. Like, we have like 4 presidential suite and executive suite, junior suite for the team, for the family. I'm in this 3-bedroom suite. I'm still by my own. I mean, I'm gonna get one of my brother come here today, but yeah. So that's how good we've been treated out here.
I'm happy to hear that. I spoke to you. The last time I spoke to you was just when this fight got announced. So a lot has happened since. And I'm just curious, and I know what you're going to say to me, Francis. I don't care. But you are being dismissed to the point of disrespect. The way the boxing community is talking about you, the way they're looking at your clips, the way they're talking about this fight, it is very disrespectful. Do you not read any of this, look at any of this, internalize it, and does it get you mad? Does it piss you off? Because they are talking about you like you're some novice fighter who has never been in a fight of any kind, that he's just going to walk in there out of shape and steamroll through you. Do you read any of this? Do you look at any of this? Do you watch any of this and get upset about it, the way they're speaking about you and your skills?
They're gonna, whatever they do, they're gonna watch it from the stage. I'm the man on the stage. That's it. I mean, as you said, I will respond like I don't care, because I don't care. It's my show. It's my show, man. I managed to get here, and whether you like it or not, it is what it is. You just have to take it.
You don't ever get worked up. I'm going to show these people, get pissed off, go to the gym, upset, take it. Like it never actually gets under your skin.
No, it can get under my skin. Hey, listen, it's the entire story of my life. Every time it's been like that from the beginning, from like the very beginning, since when I was kid, even like dreaming to become a fighter. It was the same thing. Like my family did the same thing. I mean, even people that you know for sure that they love you, but they couldn't just see your vision, understand you, like what you're doing, right? So they always doubted me, and look how far we have come. I always manage my way through, and I don't care.
Okay, so
I don't care.
So then let me ask you this: a couple of weeks ago, when they make the official announcement that he is fighting Alexander Usyk, that it's a done deal, that it's going to be in Riyadh, maybe even as soon as December 23rd, how did you feel about that timing and that announcement coming out when it did?
Well, in fact, some people asked me if I wasn't frustrated about it, if I wasn't irritated about it. And again, if you look at it in the right angle, this fight, the Usyk fight, was the fight that Tyson was negotiating. They're supposed to fight even me. I took the scene, and then I got the fight. So he's fighting me first. We are getting the way bigger fight. I don't really care what he's gonna do after with Tyson, with Usyk, or with whomever is gonna do it. Do it. You know, I'm having the biggest stage here. So even though that fight is the most the boxing community will consider the most legit fight because it's a unified title. I'm having a big stage. It can be as big as this, no matter what it can be. So why would I be upset about something that is smaller than what I have?
It's just a little weird to announce a fight before the other fight, no? Because let's say you win on Saturday. What if you knock him out? That fight's not happening, right?
Well, that's their problem. That's not mine. I don't have to deal with that. I think about like what's next to me. I'm also going to fight somewhere in the future or after that fight too. I'm going to fight. For example, I'm going to fight in PFL early next year. We haven't announced that yet, but I'm going to fight. There is a fight going on, so we both definitely going to fight after this fight.
I understand what you're saying. Just curious, because you mentioned it. Is the PFL debut date set just yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Getting
But
close?
the time, the frame.
Yeah.
Is set. Yes.
When? January, February, March? What are we thinking?
Between February. He has always been between February and March.
Okay. Opponent yet?
Not decide yet.
Are there names?
Couple options.
Couple options. Do you want to talk? Let's talk about the options. What do we got? Well, let's.
We really have nothing. We haven't gone far enough to talk about it yet.
Okay.
But we are working on some option.
All right. Is there any chance if you win on Saturday? I'm assuming he has a rematch clause, right? That you might fight him before the PFL debut. That you fight him again.
I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, yes, I'll fight him again. No before the PFL. I mean, no, at least not before the PFL debut. I don't know exactly, but there's that clause, and yeah, it's possible. It's a possibility.
Okay. Is that the same clause for you too? Can you get if you get screwed or something? Can you get an immediate rematch against him?
It depends how I fight, though.
Okay. All right.
It depends. I have to be convincing.
I understand. By the way, if you beat him, the next one has to be for the belts, right?
I don't care.
You don't care.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's
I
unbelievable.
don't care about it. I just living the dream, just get a fight, you know. Hey, let me tell you something. There's a lot of people out there that has a lot of belt and that will never see what I'm living right now.
Sure. It's amazing. How happy are you right now? With no drama, with no like that it all worked out like this. Remember where we were in January when Dana White said, "Oh, we released it." Like to see how the year is ending for you. Can you describe how happy you are, the way everything has panned out?
I'm very happy. I'm very calm. Surprisingly, last week I was little nervous, basically like finish up the training camp, and I'm like, oh man, the 5 week is coming. But for some reason, wake up on Monday and just feel like good, like just happy. And it kind of like worried me at some point. I'm like, are you really taking this seriously, right? I'm like, I have to question myself and remind, because I'm just relaxed. I'm just happy about it. I have my family around. We sit down all the time. Like we don't see day go by. When I come back to training, then we have a moment, just sit down, start talk about the past, talk about processing memories. Basically, like at this moment, it's quite great to think about to go back a little bit in the past, and that's what we've been doing. And you kind of like forget that you're in the 5 week whoosh. Is usually you will be there in your hotel room, maybe with your team, and the thing that you guys gonna talk about is fight and keep you like keep you nervous. But hey, I'm happy, I'm relaxed. As you said again, no drama, nothing. Feel way different.
How do you think you'll feel on Saturday? Do you think you'll be very nervous?
Well, I'm excited. I'm really excited to get on Saturday. I'm really excited to see how good I can do out there. So it's something that I'm looking forward to. Yes, but I think like I'm going to be fighting the world champion, the boxing world champion, the number one. And if you're not nervous at that moment, that means something wrong with you.
Mhm.
That means you're not aware of a danger that is in front of you. So and I'm clearly aware of who Tyson Fury is, what I have to deal with. Yeah, I mean, might be nervous, but I'm good.
How much do you expect to weigh on Friday?
Huh?
How much do you expect to weigh on Friday?
How much?
Yeah.
270 to 270. I really haven't been getting my weight down. We make sure to not take the weight down because it's very important. Tyson Fury can show up very big and very heavy, and he can also he like the daily boxing, and he's higher, he's taller than me, so I might have at some point to need to use that force and all those stuff. So we haven't worked to get the weight down. It was just about the right balance between strength and endurance.
What were your takeaways from when you were with him at the press conference in London? You did the face-off, you did the face-to-face for TNT. He took off his shirt, and I'm just wondering, like, what you took away from your interactions with him and what you saw from him.
No, I think he was just trying to distract me, make you lower your guard. Like, oh, I look like I'm a fat pig. I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, not you. You are not. You are the best heavyweight boxer out there, and I'm going to be working seriously to convince that man. No, the physique.
Do you think he is taking this challenge seriously?
Yes. He better does. He better does, because I've been taking it very seriously, and he better take it seriously.
But considering what everyone is saying, and that even he signed up for another fight after this one already, does it make you feel like he is potentially looking past you?
I'm looking past him too. Do you think my life gonna stop after this fight? No. Do you think my career gonna end after this fight? No. I have future after this fight. I'm looking on stuff, No later than last week, I was on the phone with Pete Murray talking about PFL stuff. So yes, he has the right to look past me. We are not going to war that we are going to die. We are just going to fight, and we're going to be back and continue with our lives.
There was a really interesting thing that happened in the face-to-face that I saw that was moderated by Carl Frampton. You were talking about the size of the ring, and it was 20 by 20, 24 by 24. He said he never asked for anything. You said you heard he asked for a certain size. One would think that maybe he would want a little bit more space. I don't know. What size ring are you actually fighting in? Do you know by now?
In the contract, he was 24 by 24.
Okay. And you preferred 20 by 20? Nowhere to run, right? Less room for him to dance around.
Listen, not like I prefer. It could be on the football field. We're gonna fight. That's what I know.
That's fair.
Hey, I'm not. Yeah, we're gonna fight.
Okay. Can I ask, how did the relationship with Mike Tyson come about, and how present has he been in the training camp?
The relationship with Mike Tyson been around for 4 years now. Since the first time that I met him 4 years ago, I think it was July 2019. And from that very first time, I made the request to fight, for him to be in my corner if ever and whenever I fight Tyson Fury, and he accepted. So, and then we stay in touch. I've been in his podcast couple time after that, and then we stay in touch. We get in a couple occasion we have to meet, and talk, but never about this fight until he became real couple months ago, 4 months ago, and I made a call.
Will he be in your corner on Saturday?
Yeah.
Wow, that is great. Who will be in your corner, including Mike Tyson? Have you decided who the corner will be?
Yes, I have Dewey Cooper. I have Eric Nixey. I have John Bumba from France.
And Mike Tyson.
He's a boxing. Yes.
Golly, that is incredible. Mike Tyson in your corner with Eric Nixon, dude, that is amazing. And isn't it amazing that Tyson Fury is named after Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson's in your corner? Do you think that annoys Tyson Fury?
That's his problem. This way, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned about what annoys Tyson Fury.
But I feel like it's a nice little mind games that you're playing with him here.
What do you mean?
He was named after him. His dad loves Mike. Now Mike is siding with you in your corner. That's good stuff.
Well, it's the sport. That's how the sport works. Sometimes you have a guy that you love. Sometimes you have a brother that fights a friend. Sometimes you have a friend that fights somebody that you actually like. Your heart always gonna be in one side. But maybe if he wasn't fighting that guy, you would have supported him. But it happened. He's a combat sport.
What is Mike like as a coach? How would you describe him?
Ooh, he's very intense. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, it's very intense. It's about volume. It's about pressure. It's pressing. I remember the first time that we trained together, and then the next day he was like, yes, are you sore? I'm like, no. Then I'm like, that's a mistake. You should have said yes. And then I wake up the next day, I was sore from the second training.
Oh my gosh. What a sight that's going to be, him walking you out. And so he's going to be in your corner. You have this opportunity, and there's been just a little bit of footage that we've seen, and I've seen some boxing people say that you know what trolling means? You understand what trolling means, right? You just trolled us with that ad from Gymshark of you walking through the door. We all thought it was true. That's like tricking people, right? Like making fun of people.
Uh-huh.
They think that you're trolling them with the hitting of the mitts, that you're trying to trick them, that you're not as good as you're better than what you're showing us. Are you playing a trick on us?
Well, then they will find out.
And not one day, Saturday, right?
Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday, they'll find out.
What about Kamaru Usman wearing your shirt, the beautiful Roots of Fight shirt, and they blurred it out on Embedded? I mean, is that something else? That is petty, no?
I mean, I don't know. Well, listen, that means one thing. I've been doing something right for myself.
Incredible that they would do that. And it was cool to see Usman. We're showing the picture right now, and the stuff from Roots of Fight is beautiful. I got a sweatshirt from them too. Beautiful stuff. All the merchandise, all the build-up for this. What about the promos, Francis? Like, the promos are like movie trailers. That I've never seen promos for a fight like this.
It was a movie trailer. Like, you get to the set, and then it's like a set for a movie. I'm like, I've been in a couple movie set, and that was exactly what it was.
Unbelievable.
It was a movie set. Yeah. Like on scene for a promo, even the music video.
The music video.
Same thing. Yeah. 5 days of shooting in Hollywood.
The amount of money, like the amount of stuff that they've done leading up to this fight, I've never seen anything like it. Has it surprised you? Like, has this gone bigger than what you expected?
Definitely. Way bigger than what I expected. I mean, from what I used to get here, you definitely get to be surprised.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, isn't it great that it's on ESPN Plus pay-per-view? Do you think that the guys in Vegas like that? What do you think they think of that?
Well, ESPN is an independent business. And I don't think
That's a good answer, yeah. But you know,
Yeah, it's his own company.
sure. By the way, did you watch Kamaru on Saturday?
Yes,
What did you think of
I
what he
did.
did?
Well, for the fight, I think he did amazing. But to be honest, I get a little worried when he take that fight in short notice and everything. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Uh, but you know, and but I was impressed to see like he went there and then hold the fight to the end, and looks like I think if this fight was a five round fight, he would have win the fight clearly, hands up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, basically after the last takedown from the knowing that it was a 3 round fight, I'm like, man, this is not good. After how the first round plays out, shouldn't take this takedown, because at some point he started to like get his pace, footwork, jab, and he was walking until get taken down. But man, heads up to him though to step up and take that fight in short notice, which is, I mean, if it was me, he wouldn't take that fight.
Right. Very impressive.
Risky.
Right. Very impressive what he did, especially against someone like Khamzat. And of course, you watched the fight. I'm sorry, I saw on your YouTube channel you did the reaction to it. So I urge everyone; those are very fun to watch. So I urge everyone to go check it out on your YouTube channel. I'll just ask you a couple more questions and then I'll let you go because I know it's getting late over there. Cristiano Ronaldo, that watch that he gave you, is that really from Ronaldo? And what is this watch? This watch looks insane.
Fly of Cristiano Ronaldo. Fly of CR7 baguette.
Come on, look at this. He gave you that?
He is insane.
Yes.
He's insane.
He gave you that just as a gift?
Yeah.
Damn. Look at you, Francis.
Can't get some. Hey, you better surround yourself with some good friends.
I know. I don't have any friends like that. No one's giving me anything close to that. Is he going to the fight on Saturday? Is Ronaldo going to be there?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What about Mbappe? Is he going to be there too?
No, I think he's busy now.
Okay. Any other celebrities?
Is quite busy.
Big celebrities going to be there?
A lot of celebrities going to be here from Cameroon, from France. Daju going to be here. Samuel Eto'o going to be here. A lot of celebrity going to be here.
Incredible. And when you dream of the fight, when you sleep, when you go to bed, how are you envisioning? What are you seeing? What's playing out in your mind as far as how it's going to play out?
My visualization being just at the beginning, like I think how I'm gonna work out, and then how Tyson gonna come out there with a throne, make a show, and I'm gonna be in the ring waiting for him. I don't know, maybe for 20 minutes. I think I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm like, maybe he's gonna come and sing some British music or some country music for 10 minutes. I don't know.
And then once the fight starts, what are you envisioning as far as the fight?
Oh no, when the fight starts, we're gonna fight. I know that I'm going out there to fight, visualizing what's gonna happen. I don't know, but I'm gonna fight. Hey, it's all or nothing. Yeah.
You seeing knockout? Are you feeling a knockout?
We know win.
Yes.
In MMA, I will usually answer that question pretty good, very confident about a knockout. But in boxing, basically against Tyson, it's gonna be a tough one. But yes, I still go for the knockout.
Well, I can't wait. I wish you nothing but the best. And I know you don't probably want to hear this on the Monday before a massive fight, but you've already won. You've won at life. You've won in the fight game. Just getting to this fight, getting to this point, you have won. But now it's time for the exclamation point. You know what I mean? To finish this story.
The the series on top of the cake.
Yes,
That's what Saturday gonna be.
yes, la cerise. Yes, the cherry on top.
La cerise sur le gâteau.
I love that. A nice little cherry on top of the cake. So many people have doubted you. So many people called you crazy, not just over the past year, but your whole life. To see this come to fruition, I'm very, very happy for you, my friend. So I wish you nothing but the best. Bon courage. Go get him on Saturday. We'll all be watching and looking forward to seeing if you could shock the world one more time.
Okay, thank you very much, Aria. Thank you for having me on the show again. And yes, and thank you for everyone who support me. And even those who hate me, thank you, because it's because of you that I'm here, you know. And I know even you guys that hate, you're going to turn in and watch. And that's what I want. Turn in and watch. Thank you.
All right. All the best, Francis. Talk to you soon. Take care. Good luck.
Talk to you, Aria. Bye.
All right,
Thank you.
there he is, the great Francis Ngannou. I am excited, guys. I have to say, I am excited. That got me excited. I mean, we just went. By the way, we just went from Abu Dhabi to Saudi Arabia, and we're going back to Abu Dhabi in a moment with Paulo Costa. It's a very Middle Eastern program today, so this is very nice. What are we at? What are we at? Scale of 1 to 10. What are we at? I don't know. I'm afraid.
9.
Okay, I'm afraid to. I should always go to Frank first as the first question. I'm
it's
afraid.
trustworthy.
What are you at? What are you at?
I'm at a 9.
Yeah. I'm pretty
pumped.
excited.
This is a good weekend for boxing.
Yeah.
Got Florida, got Abu Dhabi. I mean Saudi Arabia,
Wait, what's in Florida?
Orlando. On the
Oh,
27th.
Amanda
I
Serrano.
can't
That's
believe
right.
it. Wow.
Oh, yes. Historic.
It's very historic.
Yes. 3-minute rounds. Yeah, it is a big weekend for boxing. You think you could do it, Frank? What do you think? What are you feeling?
I mean, I'll put it this way. I showed the promo to a neighbor. And
Yeah.
They're buying the pay-per-view now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't even know who Francis was. And then they told him the whole story, showed him the promo. They know who Fury is, but they're excited for Francis.
Yeah.
So
Francis posted on his Instagram yesterday one that was voiced by The Rock, but I think it's like from a different Rock thing, but it was all about his career. Like the content leading up to this fight has been tremendous. Not to mention the merch and the promotional materials and all that stuff. I'm really curious to see how it all plays out and what it does on pay-per-view, but just really how the story, like I feel like we've been talking about the possibility of this fight happening for at least 3 years, and I'm just fascinated to finally see it happen. And the boxing community is not giving him a chance. They really aren't. And he's been making believers out of doubters for quite some time now. We are scheduled as of right now, and perhaps I'm jinxing myself, but on Wednesday, we are scheduled to talk to Tyson Fury, and I always love talking to Tyson. It's always very interesting. Yes, thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. It's always a very interesting chat, and especially now with the Usyk fight, with the Tommy Fury fight, with his dad hating me. No, I'm kidding. John and I are great. I saw him in the locker room. I was like, John, we good? Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. And then I scurried off. So I'm looking forward to that conversation, hopefully on Wednesday from Riyadh. You going to Riyadh, Frank? I know there was some talk of you potentially going.
no, I'm actually gonna watch the fight over at Rick's house on Saturday.
Hmm?
Yeah.
As in New York, Rick?
Yep. New York, Rick. Amityville.
Party?
No party. But the invite is there.
Wow,
Frank might be in town.
I didn't realize.
Look, the situation is what the situation is. I've explained to him the situation that occurred on the watch party. That's going to be what's happening in the house.
But it'll be in real
locked in
time
on
for
the
me.
computer.
Now. It won't be that you're seeing it 5 seconds ahead.
Wait a second. This sounds like Frank invited himself over to your house, and it sounds like you're trying to deter him from.
No. I'm not trying to deter him. I'm just making him aware of what the situation is going to be.
But did he invite himself over?
No.
I did get a formal invite.
But based on how did it go? Did he say he was in the neighborhood and could I stop by? And yeah, sure. This doesn't sound like a typical fight party if I'm reading it correctly.
It's a mysterious Frank and New York Rick
Link up?
fight watch.
Collaboration.
Wow, you guys gonna do a watch party from the house? From the pool?
We'll FaceTime you.
Now is GC coming?
No, he'll be out of town.
Where's he going?
What does it matter? Come on,
the
guy's got a life.
It's Ngannou Fury. Well, I mean, what could he be doing?
He'll be watching the fight, just not with us.
Oh, I just heard him. Is that Francis back?
Yeah, Francis came back.
Are you excited? Rick?
I'm conflicted.
Why?
I don't believe.
You don't believe what?
I don't believe this is going to be a fight.
Oh, I thought you were just saying you didn't believe it was going to happen. I was like, what?
No, I believe it's going to happen. I just don't believe this is going to be a competitive fight.
I think it is. Ultimately, I don't know what happens, but I think it's competitive. I think the combo of Tyson maybe not taking it as seriously as, say, like an Usyk fight and Francis going in there to shock the world. Now, you know,
I truly
does
believe in my heart of hearts that Tyson Fury could roll off the couch and school Francis Ngannou in boxing.
This is crazy. I hope Francis isn't watching right now. This is absolutely crazy. Francis, that's not me who said that, okay? I know we have similar... No, we don't have similar hairstyle at all. We used to back in the day. I think Francis is playing possum with the training footage.
Oh, believe me, this is not based on the training footage.
What about the visual of Francis walking out with Tyson, with Mike Tyson? Oh, come on. It's going to be great.
I think Mike Tyson's involvement in this is a really, really smart play strategically, and in the promos and all this stuff.
Oh, it's been great.
They've done really well. This A+ from a marketing materials, social, all that perspective, they have really shown the efforts behind this.
100%. It feels big. Now, you know, we'll see. Come Monday next week, we'll talk about if it delivered. But it feels, you know, they've done it the right way. They've
Absolutely.
done it.
They you know, you could think what you want of Tyson Fury announcing a fight past Francis Ngannou.
Oh yeah.
But the efforts behind this event have cut no corners.
The card is actually not bad. Some interesting heavyweight battles on there. I'm curious to see what it looks like, what it feels like. You know, I was critical of the Paul Fury fight in February. It felt like it was a little bit void of energy. And so I'm curious if this one's going to be any different. The WWE events aren't like that. I don't know why it felt like that in February. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This just seemed off. Something seemed off about it. Maybe it was the Sunday afternoon component. I don't know. But I'm very curious to see how it looks and feels come Saturday afternoon here, Saturday evening over in Saudi Arabia. Now, let's go back to Abu Dhabi. Old friend of the show, Paulo Costa, standing by. Of course, he was supposed to fight at UFC 294. Didn't. Last time we spoke to him, he was still on the card, but in the end was removed. Let's talk to him now to see what he thought of Saturday and to see how he's feeling. Most importantly, hello, Paulo. Paulo. By the way, this is a great look for you. The hair, everything. You're looking very much like Clark Kent. You know Clark Kent?
Of course, I know. Of course. You think Pavel don't have TV anymore?
By the way, I see myself. I see myself in back of you right there on the TV. Yes.
Yeah. I'm watching you, motherfucker.
Hey, there I am. Yeah.
I was worried about the link. You know, I was asking you about the link, but Tamara fell down in sleep. So
oh my God.
I'm doing for myself, you know, and yeah, I'm alone right now. Doing my own stuff.
Oh,
always helping me. But now she left me and go to sleep. She tired. She's so tired.
I can understand.
But we are here. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. The Proud of Quebec.
Yes.
Ariel Jacob.
Wow.
Right.
You know my middle name.
Okay.
I like it, Paulo. Okay. First things first. How is the elbow? Can you tell us how you're feeling?
It's getting better, you know. Much better, much better. I saw doctors today, and the progress is continuous. Have been doing, you know. So they are so happy and proud of this because I have already test my hand Saturday in the arena. So they are so proud of the servers. You know, I punched some changing head there. So they are proud and they say, Paulo, you did pretty well. You know, you are not allowed to do any exercise except beat some Chechen heads if you saw them in front of you. But besides this, it's 100% good. I think we're gonna remove these teachers. Not stitches. Sorry, not stitches. The sticker. Thursday. So then I will be like a
okay. And I want to ask you about what happened Saturday in a moment, but I'm just curious. The last time I spoke to you, you were still saying that you wanted to be in the fight. Ultimately, why did you get removed from the fight? Like, what happened between when we spoke to the announcement coming out 2 days later that you were out?
Day after that spoke, doctor told me we need to do more two surgery. So like and let my open, let my elbow open. So they will not be possible to do another stitches. So with this arm open and the skin open, it is not possible to do anything. And any commission will not will block me to fight. And so that night that I spoke with you, I had a chance to fight. But next day, doctor told me we need to reopen your first surgery to clean again. So that way will not be possible anymore.
How depressing was that when you got the news that you were out? How did you feel after all these months?
All these months I was, in the edge. I know that since the first surgery I was in the edge, but I was trying, just pushing hard, just try with all my power, try to stay in the fight, try not let this fight fall apart. And when the news hit me, I felt frustration, a lot of frustration and sad. Yeah. And was bad moment, very bad moment.
And to see his response, he was sort of mocking you and saying that you were running away. How hard was it to see all of that?
Say again, sorry?
When the news came out, like Hamza was kind of mocking you and saying that you were a chicken and running away. How hard was it to see all of that he was,
Not really, because this is a kind of bullshit, you cannot do, you cannot say nothing about big 3 surgeries and open wound on your elbow, 2 big holes, like I post pictures. Just bullshit. I just ignore. This don't affect me really, yeah.
Okay. So what happened at the event on Saturday? I saw one of the clips of you battling someone and the guy jumped over. What happened there?
Yeah. Bro, I don't know exactly what these guys were doing over there, but when I get in the arena, I was in the hallway, took pictures with the fans, and somebody that asked for photo and selfies, and almost in the corner in the corner to go to my seats, a guy called me, and when I came in front of him, he showed his fingers in my face, So I looked to him, and the security pushed me like come on, Paulo, next fight is coming. We need to, we need to let the hallway free to the next match. But I say, I marked his face.
Oh.
I marked his face because I piss out. My will is slap his in the face direct, but I called. So I marked his face, and I used the same hallway to go to the bathroom and come back to my seats. So I went to the bathroom and looked for him. And when I come back, I saw him, but he was not anymore in the first row. He was in the third row. So it makes more furious because he came for the first just to show his fingers in my face.
Right.
So disrespectful.
Right.
So disrespectful. So bro, I was like I need to discipline this guy before I came back to watch the fights, because my mind will stay on this guy. This guy is so audacious. And then I come back and I saw him in the third row. I say, brother, come here, please. I want to do something with you. And he looked to me like that, and he started to come. But they are a little couple of them. I think it's like a dwarf Chechen gang are out there, maybe 4 or 3, I don't know. And the guy, when he started to fall down to came jump the seats to came unto me, somebody just hold him. Don't go, don't go. And then I grab him. So when I grab him, another guy tried to punch me. So the security pull me out, and then the same guy that I was trying drag out, he jumping. He jumping, like in front of me. I don't know what he had in mind, but was not a good idea for him because once he jumped, he landed in the security and his head was like in front of me. So even with my brand new arm, I could land. That's it, just this.
Wow.
And more guys start to jump in, but I don't know these guys.
Okay.
And I don't care. I don't care. Yeah.
After that, was there anything else that happened? Or were you left alone?
Yeah, just this. I left. Yeah.
Okay.
I went to take a car to come back to my hotel, and we go through the Hilton. Hilton is the hotel, the athlete's hotel. Was a lot of people there, but was fine.
Okay. What did you think about the fight? Khamzat, Kamaru,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on the fight?
I can resume for you. I think Kamaru did his best, in that circumstance. He got, first of all, he's a welterweight, not middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
And he is quite smaller than a legit middleweight, but he's a good welterweight. But he was like 10 days short notes. So, and he need to flew here in Abu Dhabi. We know it's different time, and you maybe you take like 2 days to get here. Depends from where you come. So basically, he had 7 days to train for this fight, and I think he did what he could to do. But if he could believe a little bit more on himself, he could beat he could get a win in this fight. I was talking with his coach, Cosmo Alexandre, and I was Cosmo. He need to push a little bit in the second. For sure, he lost the first round. He lost, but I think he won the second and the third. In my opinion, if you put 10-8 for Gometic in the first, at least a draw. But yes, but it is what it is. I think this fight makes Shimaev become smaller, become smaller than he was before, because the people actually the people has a lot hype on him, but I just realized it's just more about boys and kids. It's not the regular. It's not the hard fun core fan base from MMA, because the people don't think he's ready already. Maybe he has potential, but he's not ready to big fights, to super fights. Kamaru with full camp, all the smoke him. And yes, and I think these guys who support him, who is so fanatic with him, is just kids who see on him Western guy who can represent them or their weakness, something like that. It's a kind of nerds. When nerds look for somebody, in the cartoons, and oh, this is my hero. But for you, for example, for you who is a long time on this sport, you have seen everything already, and I'm pretty sure you can recognize when the guy is ready to big things or not. And I don't believe he's ready, right now. So yeah, I think this fight make him a little bit smaller than before, and actually the fight against Gilbert showed the same thing. But now one more for point on this way, I think.
Were you surprised that it went down like that, or did you did you think that he would finish him in the first round, or did you expect Kamaru to give him a tough fight like the Gilbert fight?
Now I expect I expect Kamaru would make a good fight, you know, and be very tough opponent.
Okay.
For Shimaev.
So
yeah.
it sounded like afterwards they were saying that he gets a title shot. How do you feel about that?
I don't think this is legit. He didn't beat a top middleweight yet, and he didn't make great things in the featherweight either. So why? You know, my point is just why.
Yeah, why do you think?
I think he should fight a legit middleweight.
No, why do you think they're giving it to him? Like, what's your?
I don't know.
Guess?
You know, to be honest, can I be honest?
Please.
I think then I'd say about that the next one will be in the line for the title just to hype this event, to not let the expectative of the people be low. So when he say the next one will fight for the title next, the people put more attention. Oh, let's see, you know, it's like a strategy to sell. But Dana White's so smart. He's running this show very, very well, you know, and he knows what will be better, and for the business and for the division, and I believe a lot in what he's gonna do, and I truly believe he's gonna he book my fight against him.
When could you fight? Given your elbow, like, what are they saying to you? When could you be 100%?
I have sent a message for Dana White in his private Instagram, and we have a talk. I actually bothering him. I can fight. I want to fight in December.
That soon?
I want to fight.
That's in 2 months.
Yeah. Yes.
You could be ready to go. The elbow would be okay.
Yeah. As I told you, the wound is closing. Is almost closed. So
yeah.
More 1 week. 1 week I will be ready to come back to train. And I don't need too much time to train. You know, I have been trained. I did a fight camp for Comete Chain. I have been trained for this fight for a whole year. I don't need 8 weeks, 12 weeks. I need 5 weeks. Give me 5 weeks. We can before the end of this year.
Okay. And if it was up to you, you want to rematch him. Like, I mean, rematch. That doesn't make any sense. Rebook. You obviously didn't fight him. But like that's what you want, right? You want to do you versus him, and we determine who's the better man.
I really want, you know, besides I become a little bit less excited to fight him after Saturday, you know, because he shows a lot of holes in his game, you know, so immature, doing hard. Yeah, he just rushed too much in the first, and he wasn't over there anymore in the second and the third, so gets out. So this is like a begin mistakes, you know. I remember when I had 4 fights, I was like that. I just rushed with everything that I had, and I didn't had, and then my soul just goes out of my body, and I was like tired as a hell, you know. So he doing the same right now in UFC against in the common event. So this is so immature. That's, you know, everybody knows if you lose my head more 2 rounds, you're gonna or he gonna finish him or won that fight. Or if he believe a little bit in himself and push a little bit more, I truly believe Usman should get the win. But yeah, so but he is the fight that I want. But if he's not, that's okay. We have Whitaker, we have Duplessis, Cannonier. I don't know.
What do you think would have happened if you fought him on Saturday? In your heart, what do you think would have been the result?
I think okay. I will tell you my honest thought about that. I really think in the first shoot, I will sprawl really hard, over almost 100 kilos, sprawling above his head, have ribs, and he could make a body lock or put me down. If he could, I will just bounce and come back. And maybe he survived for the first, but in the second, no way. I'm gonna knock him out.
So it must have been hard to watch that on Saturday, right? No one feeling that.
Yes. Yes.
That should have been me.
Yes, exactly. And that was my feeling.
Right. And what about
money? Easy, easy everything.
Right. People criticized you for talking about the elbow, for making it public. What do you make of those people? You got some criticism afterwards.
I didn't understand this criticism. Why?
I don't know. Maybe I guess they were implying that you were trying to get out or make excuses. All this stuff. I don't know. Did you see this stuff? Yeah, it's crazy. No, it was not fair. Not fair.
Yeah. I was just telling the people that I was good and that at that moment.
Yeah.
Even after surgery, I'm ready. I'm good. The way is good. I'm feeling good. I'm training. I'm sparring already. So just to let the people know, because I don't like to. I don't know. I think people deserve to know what's going on at some point. Some point is strategically, so you need to let for after. But at some point, why not? Why not?
What is your message to Khamzat?
Don't be afraid. The guy is run away this fight the whole year. Let me tell you something. UFC Spain doing this fight. They told me UFC Hunter Campbell told me about this fight around January. Okay, I just say it's so long with no fights. Why you wait until October to fight Gomeche Chen? I told you. I think I was here in the.
Yeah.
He said, "No, I don't want you to fight before because you can injure during the fight, and we lost this match." I say, okay, I will wait to this fight. But even August, Gomeche Chen was trying to find out another people to fight, not me. But not me. He was not the one. He never wanted to fight me. Neither him, any of his coaches, his manager. Only UFC push for him accept. He had no other option. So what my message for him? Let's fight. Don't be afraid. I know he's insecure man, girl. He tried to looks no fear and this bullshit, but he's soft. He was crying. I cried. I broke my hand. I broke my hand as well. Again, look, and yeah, and I was. Did you see me cry about my hand? Not about my hand. I cry about
other things. Other things. Yeah, other things for sure. Well, I'm sorry it didn't work out, but I appreciate you coming on and talking to us. And you're going to go home now and get well. You're going to go back to Brazil, get well, and then hopefully we see you back in there in the next in the next few months. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I I just have another appointment on Thursday, and then I need to stay here until Thursday.
Okay.
So I with the same doctors, and after that, I'm just wait for UFC tell me who gonna be my next opponent. But I want to fight ASAP.
Okay. Thank you, Paulo. All the best, my friend. Thank you for staying up late. Take care, and good luck with the appointment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you.
There he is, the great Paulo Costa Borrachinha, kind enough to join us to update us on his situation. All right, let's move along now to our in-studio guest. He's one of the best boxers on the planet, top 10 pound for pound, December 9. He returns to action in the Bay Area, going back home. First big fight at the Chase Center in San Francisco. He is moving up to 140 pounds to fight the WBC champion at junior welterweight, Regis Prograis. He's the great Devin Haney who is here. My man, Devin. What's happening?
How you doing,
Thank you
brother?
so much. Please have a seat.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
coming
having
in.
me.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's great to have you in person. We've talked before, but not in person.
Nah, I feel so much better like this.
This is better?
Yeah.
You're more comfortable?
Yeah, well, over the Zoom.
The Zoom, it's tough to connect.
Yeah.
You've been doing a lot of media
Yeah.
in the last few days. Do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it. You know, I signed up for it. I knew that I would be here one day, so I know, what comes with it. And it's all about promoting the fight, and I want as many people to watch the fight as possible and to be at the fight. So.
But I get the feeling, correct me if I'm wrong, like you prefer the fighting, right?
Oh,
the other
by far.
stuff is like
By
you have to
far,
do
by
it.
far. I'm a fighter. I love to fight. This is more like the work part.
Right.
But the fighting is the fun part.
I saw you at the Giants game yesterday with Tracy Morgan. You were hanging out.
Tracy Morgan. Yeah.
Are you guys friends, or you were just?
No, we're friends.
You're boys.
Yeah, we're friends. Yeah.
Really? How'd that happen?
We did a podcast together.
Okay.
And it was just organic.
We've done podcasts together. We're not hanging out at Giants games.
That's why I said that.
Connected.
Now we're in person now, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Zoom is hard to really connect.
Yeah.
We might hit a UFC fight together. We might hit a Giants game together. You never know.
Okay, I look forward to that. But are you a UFC fan?
Yeah.
I saw you talking about those MMA guys like last month. Who was it? Oh, it was Sean O'Malley in your comments, right? Sean O'Malley was in your comments. And we have another one coming up this weekend with Francis and Tyson.
Uh-huh.
When you hear the MMA guys talk about the boxers, do you just chuckle?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because, it's totally different. Whenever the MMA guys come over to the boxing, it's not good for them.
Right.
And it's never going to be good for them. And the same, if we went to, I don't disrespect the MMA guys because, it's just a different sport. I know that, I can't compete with those guys in the cage. But when they come to the boxing ring, they can't compete with me. So it's just two total different, fights. Two styles of fight.
Right. So you think Francis has no chance against Tyson?
Of course not. I mean,
not even like a puncher's chance.
I mean, you always got a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
That's when you step into the boxing ring. Anybody can, throw a Hail Mary and, knock somebody out. But it's very slim.
Would you ever entertain any of those? Like if a Sean O'Malley, actually pushed...
It's not the best thing for Sean O'Malley to get in the boxing ring with me. It's not.
What would you do?
It won't be competitive.
You would smoke him?
It won't be competitive.
Okay. But
I respect him in the cage, what he does in the cage. He's a hell of a fighter in the cage. But when he step into that square circle, the boxing ring, it's a total different thing.
By the way, in MMA, is there anyone whose boxing does impress you for MMA? Like who you see them throw hands, and you're like,
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
I like him. I like Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
I like McGregor, of course.
Yeah.
The one dude that just fought Israel.
Sean Strickland.
Yeah, him.
What'd you think of that? He did the old Philly shell there, huh?
Yeah,
that was impressive.
Yeah, he's working the shoulder roll. I never seen that in the cage before.
Right, not a lot of guys do that, especially effectively.
Yeah, it surprised me, but he looked good doing it.
You watch the pay-per-views?
Yeah.
For some of the fights?
Yeah.
But more boxing, right? Like, are you watching all the boxing events? Because there's some guys who don't watch anything.
Not all of them. But I do watch like the big ones, or like the people that I actually like am close with or came up with. I watch them, but not all of them.
Okay, so I have many questions because the last time we saw you in action was obviously the Lomachenko fight.
Mm-hmm.
That was your third fight with Top Rank.
Yeah.
Did you consider after that fight staying with Top Rank, or did you know that you were going to leave?
Yeah, no, I was weighing out all my options. Trying to see what Top Rank presented. What they wanted. What they had to offer, and other promoters as well.
Okay. Overall, your experience with Top Rank, how would you describe it?
I mean, I had 3, successful fights with them. I made a lot of money with them, so
you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I got nothing bad to say.
Okay. I saw an interview with Eddie Hearn last week where he was like, he was a man of his word. He told me he'd be back, and now he's back. Did you actually make him that promise when you left?
Yeah, I did. I never wanted to leave Eddie. I never wanted to leave, the zone and Matchroom. But it's what I had to do to become undisputed, to be in this position. I had to go sign with another promoter, with the guy who I was fighting, go fight on ESPN and go do that. And Eddie, he respected it. I told him that, I had to do this and I'll be back, and I did.
What is it about Eddie Hearn that you like as a promoter?
No, I mean, me and Eddie, we have a relationship outside of boxing. And he was the first one that really believed in me, that gave me my shot. When I was a young kid, he took a chance with me, and he paid me well at a young age, and I will always, respect him and appreciate him for that.
Could I ask, what were the options that you were weighing before going with Matchroom? Who were you looking at?
Everybody. We were talking to everybody.
Okay. And there were certain fights probably tied to those options, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, what was it about this particular fight that made you say, okay, I'm coming back to Matchroom, and this is the one that I want to be the first one in this new chapter?
Yeah, I mean, it was an instant shot at, me becoming a world champion in the 140-pound division. And, that's something that I've been wanting to do, to become a two-division champ. It was a fight. It was a fight for me to fight in the Bay Area, where I come from, where my roots is, where my day one supporters are. So it all made sense for me.
How close did you get to the Shakur fight? In your mind?
We presented the fight. If he would have said yes to the offer that I offered him, then the fight would have been made. So however close that is.
Would that have been with Top Rank, or could you have done that?
No, it would have been with Top Rank.
Okay. So is the 25% thing legit? Because I heard you say that the 25% is still bigger than anything he's ever gotten.
Yeah, it would have been, the 25% would have been, bigger than all his fights put together he made.
All put together?
Put together.
Were you shocked that he said no?
Yeah, I think his ego, made him say no, his ego and the people around him. Also, I don't feel like he truly wanted to fight. I think he really wanted to just push me out of position. And
what do you mean by that? Like
he wanted to fight for a vacant belt rather than fight me.
The WBC one, right?
Yes, exactly.
Really?
But it is what it is. He chose that route, which, it's not a surprise to me, because, it was all a publicity stunt. It was all, just to, clout and to push me out of position. So it is what it is. He chose that route, and maybe one day we'll still get it on.
So it's interesting, when this fight was announced, I remember tweeting over the DAZN pick. I was like, man, I said, Devin's one of my favorite fighters because it feels like you always chase the biggest fight possible, the biggest obstacle, the biggest challenge. Mm-hmm. Look at Kambosos, once in Australia, then back in Australia, when it was almost crazy that you had to go back, but you did it anyway.
Yeah.
And then I got so much shit for that.
Really?
Man. People were like, you don't know shit about boxing. You don't know. The Shakur fight was the biggest fight. And I could have engaged, but I was like, fuck it. I was like, why is he getting this shit for this? Why is it your fault that the Shakur fight didn't happen?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is all.
Do you feel like you're being blamed for this?
No, I mean, this is all the business, right?
Right.
So when George Kambosos offered me the 22% and the 2 fights to go to Australia and to go sign with a different promoter and to get the vaccine and go do this and do that, where was they at when I took that? It was all the business then, right? I had to respect his, because he was a champion. He was a guy with all the belts, and I was a world champion at that time as well. So now that I'm the champion, and now I'm giving somebody the offer to make more money than they ever made in their life, put together in all their fights, then I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. See, when I fought Kambosos, it wasn't for all the money. I was fighting for the same money that I was already making. But I said, no, fuck that. I don't care. I know that I could beat him. I know that once I win, I'm gonna be able to call the shots and make all the money myself. So now it's that time, and they don't want that.
I saw Floyd weigh in as well, and he seems to be siding with Shakur. Does that annoy you?
No, I mean, Floyd has the right to his own opinion, just like everybody else. He's no different than anybody else. But was it fair when he gave Andre Berto the short end of the stick and Andre Berto got less?
So when you read this stuff, does it piss you off?
No, it's like I said, everybody has a right to their own opinion. I got the right to my own opinion. It is what it is. No, there is no right or wrong.
Could it still happen? Could the Shakur fight still happen with you now under the Matchroom banner?
Of course, but right now my main focus is Regis Prograis. Once I get past him, I'm willing to fight anybody, whenever, wherever, and I've proven that. The last thing I did was duck any fights. If you look at Shakur's resume and look at my resume, who's fought the tougher opposition, me or him?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me.
No, I would say you at this point. Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody's the one that's ducking, it's him.
And just curious, like, what is the state of your relationship? Because I know you used to spar, and that's been a bit of a point of contention as well. But like, were you ever boys? Were you ever cool, or not really?
I mean, it's all business at the end of the day.
Okay.
We all in this to make money, feed our family, and create a legacy. So I can't be mad at anything. He wants a shot at Undisputed, or at least he acted like he wanted a shot at Undisputed. So I gotta respect it.
How many times do you spar him?
Oh man, we sparred too many to count.
Oh really?
Yeah, we've been sparring since we were, 12, 13 years old.
Wow.
Maybe 14.
Okay, so this is
14 years old.
you've known of each other and been around each other for a very long time.
Of course.
And you were this close, but now you're going a different direction. Now, when it comes to the Regis fight, probably an easy.
He went a different.
Right.
Different direction.
Yes.
He chose that. When I offered him the 25%, he wanted to do the 50%. Then I said 25%, take it or leave it.
You wanted 50%.
He wanted 50%.
Wow.
And he's on record saying this.
As the undisputed champion, you're going to give 50%? That seems a little funny.
Come on now, like that. What sense? What sense would that make?
Right. Where would the fight even happen? Because I would think that you would be the A side, just as you're the guy right now. Top 10.
It would have been in Vegas for sure, but 50%. Come on now, not even come back with a realistic number, which it was going to be 25% regardless, because that was the amount that I offered him as a champion, as a guy who paid his dues to be in this position, who was giving him a shot. That's what it was going to be. But to come back with 50% is like spit in the face.
Did you even consider it for a second? The 50? No. Okay. Then you move on.
That's why I came back with 25%.
Okay. When you signed with Matchroom,
like I said, did he consider it the 25%? Because if he considered 25%, why would he say 50?
Right. Did he? Do you know if he did?
Think about it. How would he consider it if he even came back with 50%?
I didn't know. Maybe he was hoping that you would come back with 40 or something.
That's not even realistic.
Yeah.
From 25 to 50, that means we're on an even playing field. That you have 2 belts, I have 2 belts. That's a 50-50 fight.
Right.
Not a guy with 4 belts and you have nothing. You had fought one fight in the division with a guy we never even heard of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know the guy that he fought his last fight. You know him?
Off the top of my head, no.
You know the guy I fought my last fight?
Yes, of course. I was just about to ask you about him.
What's his
Lomachenko.
name? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now. It's not right.
Did you consider a rematch with Lomachenko?
Yes.
And what happened?
We looked at it. We looked at the money that Top Rank was willing to put up, and we just said, you know what, we're gonna take this fight, and then we'll circle back.
Okay. Were you upset with the analysis of the fight? Do you think that you definitively won?
Yeah, of course. I definitely feel like I won. I thought that it was a good fight. But if you look at the fight without the commentators, without the crowd being biased or whatever, not even with everyone not against me, just look at it on his own. I banked almost all those early rounds, and he had 2 good rounds, but 2 good rounds don't win a championship fight, and that's just reality.
Do you think that people were against you? Like, do you feel like the commentators and everything were against you?
If you go back and listen at the fight, you listen to the commentators of the fight, you'll see that they were against me. And
why would they be against you?
I don't know. It's part of it.
Top rank guy?
I was a top rank guy.
I know, but he was like the more established top rank guy.
Yeah, he was with them much longer than I was, and it was my last fight.
Right.
But I don't want to put nothing on them.
Okay.
I don't know if it was top rank. I don't know if they just didn't like me because I'm me. But it is what it is. I gotta respect it.
Who wouldn't like you?
Territory. I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't like me. I'm a great guy.
It was a great fight. It was obviously very entertaining and very close. Was he better than you thought he would be at his age? Like, did he surprise you?
No, I knew he was very crafty. And at one point he was number one on everybody's pound for pound list. We can't forget about these things. So guys rarely even win rounds against him. It's rare for a guy to win a round. And when he went into the fight with Tio, he went in there with an injured shoulder. His shoulder, and it's proven. Like, he had receipts to show that he had to get a cortisone shot and do this and do that. And then the other loss before that was Salido, and that was his second fight. Mm-hmm. Other than that, he dominates guys. So it just shows what type of fighter I am. And eventually, when it's all said and done, I'm done with the sport, the world will acknowledge like how great I am. But
do you feel like I remember the first time I spoke to you, I threw out the theory that you should already be a top 10 pound for pound guy. Yeah. You weren't at the time. Yeah. And I was like, why aren't you even in that conversation? Now you're finally, I think I see 8, 7, something like that. Yeah. But do you feel like people are reluctant to give you your props? And if so, why?
I don't know, maybe because I'm so young. I'm 24 years old. I'm still young. And I'm the youngest out of everybody, on the pound for pound list as a champion. Well, not even where I was the youngest champion. I think I'm like the second youngest now. I don't know. At the end of the day, I just got to keep beating whoever they put in front of me. The hate comes with it. They hate you. They hate you when you're successful, and it's reality. I'm doing something right. I thank God for everything. Alhamdulillah to be in this position. I prayed to be here, and now I'm here. So I embrace it all.
Was there something about Regis Prograis that made you want to accept this fight, or is it just the fact that he's a 140-pound champion and you want that?
He's a champion. He's a champion.
Nothing personal between you guys.
I would have fought any of the champions at 140, but this was the easiest one to make, and it's happening now. But I still want to fight all the champions, after this. But I got to get past Regis Prograis first.
So that press conference last week was something. Not so much because of you and Regis.
Yeah.
But so that was really his strength coach?
Yeah.
Talking all that shit.
Yeah.
That was a lot of shit.
Nah, but he's...
People saying you were getting knocked out. Like,
he's famous now. Ariel, you didn't
even
know him.
I know. I actually tried to memorize his name, and I don't even remember his name.
Yeah.
Do you remember his name?
No, I wouldn't want to remember his name.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards him, but like, you don't often hear a coach speak like that.
Especially not a strength coach.
Yeah. Well, especially, yes. But even if it was like any coach trying to hype his guy, like he was being very, I found it was like a little too disrespectful.
Yeah, he came out very disrespectful, but he's a strength coach. He wants to.
Why was he up there then as a strength coach?
I don't think his real coach couldn't make it.
So he was trying to like seize the moment?
Yeah, he's trying to make a name for himself. And he did. He did a good job of it. And he's building the fight, so I'm not mad at him,
It didn't piss you off?
I might give him a tip after the fight for, making the pay-per-view go up, getting me some more money.
But you're sitting there listening to this and he's saying you're going to get knocked out, you haven't fought anyone, all this stuff. And like
he's never fought anybody. He's never.
Well, I know that. That was a good.
He's a stripper.
Yeah.
So he needs to talk about some weights and some ab routines and some stuff like that, and let the fighters talk.
It was funny when Regis at the end, he's like, "I'm done with these clowns and all that," and he was like, "Well, you're talking about."
Yeah, he's talking about his clown ass strength.
Yeah,
coach.
I love your dad though. Is your dad here?
Nah, he's not.
Your dad is the man.
Yeah,
your dad has your back. I love your dad.
Yeah, my dad, he's amazing. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad, So, and my dad has seized the moment.
Yes, he was going back at him.
Yeah. Nah, one thing about it, anybody say anything about me, my dad's gonna be down your throat, and I love it.
Okay, so when you guys are going back and forth, is there any part of you that is just like, can you guys do you want to interact, or are you happy that they're just taking away all the shine and let them, build it up?
It's fun.
You're okay with that?
No, I'm okay with it. Like I said, I want to give the guy some, the strength coach, I want to give him some fame. He's building the fight, and my dad's gonna I know my dad's gonna. He's as soon as he sees something like that, he's like a dog off the leash. He's gonna get on him. So it's fun to watch. Like I commented on it. I seen on my Twitter them two going at it. And what's crazy, my dad was by himself. He wasn't even like with anybody. It was like their little clique, and it was my dad. He was just going back and forth with them.
It was amazing. I was
commenting all laughing emojis because it was funny.
It was amazing. It was very entertaining. Could I ask, since we were talking about percentages, what is the percentage breakdown here for this one?
See, the thing with Shakur is I offered him a flat rate, and he said he didn't want a flat rate.
Okay.
So with this fight, it's just Regis Prograis getting a flat rate, and I'm getting what I'm getting.
Okay. Are you getting more than Regis?
Come on now.
Well, he's the champ. I don't know how it works.
I'm the champ too.
I know, but I mean, you're fighting for his belt.
We're fighting for his belt, but it's always an A side and a B side, and
Sure.
we know it's no secret who the A side is. But
you're not going to New Orleans.
Regis is getting much more money than he's ever made in his career. So, it is what it is.
Were you surprised he was okay to go to San Fran?
No. He's getting much money he ever made in his career. It only makes sense for him to come to San Fran and do it in front of my fans. His last fight, he did it in front of his people, his fans, and it wasn't a sellout. It wasn't. A lot of people didn't come out and support. I'm sure people came out, but it wasn't just. Sure. It wasn't a big event like it is in San Francisco. We did 10,000 seats already.
No way. Wow.
Yeah.
So they're expecting a sellout?
Yeah, for sure.
Chase Center.
It holds 16,000, so we still 7 weeks out with, 6,000 more seats to go. So.
I saw you with Steph.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Was that cool?
Yeah,
Is that your first time meeting him?
It was my first time meeting him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Does he know fighting? Is he a fan?
Yeah, as soon as he saw me, he said, "What's up, Devin?
Oh wow.
How you doing?
Are they in town? Are they gonna go?
That's what they're trying to see. Draymond said he's coming, so I
know
think
he's a fight fan.
Steph said if they don't have to, if they're not on the road, then they want to come.
Draymond's got a mean right hand.
Oh yeah, I mean.
So that.
Yeah, I mean you can tell he's been working on it.
That was a great picture. I was wondering. We were talking with the guys. Do you think Eddie knew who Steph was?
Oh no, he knows Steph. He knows Steph, but doesn't know anyone else.
He doesn't know anyone. I wonder if Steph knew Eddie. Probably not.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
I was telling Eddie about different guys. That's Klay Thompson.
Oh, really?
That's Draymond Green. He didn't know Draymond Green.
Really?
He doesn't know Klay Thompson, but obviously he knows Steph Curry. But if you think about it, Steph Curry is one of the most famous people.
Oh yeah, I'd be shocked if he didn't know.
Yeah.
I was wondering if Steph knew Eddie.
Yeah, no.
No chance. He's not on that level.
He's just big in the UK.
No, of course, yeah. But he's doing. I mean, he's getting more and more known here.
For sure.
You're going back to San Fran. There hasn't been a big fight in San Francisco since Floyd fought there in 2001.
Yeah,
I know.
Andre Ward.
Oakland.
It was Oakland. Yeah. Oh, you talking about
San Fran? Yeah. So this is huge.
No, this is massive. And especially, it's never been a fight at the Chase Center.
Right. Of any kind, not even UFC.
Yeah. So it's been it's amazing. Especially, just for my people to be able to come support me. I've been fighting in Vegas, where it was a mixed crowd, people against me, people with me, Australia, obviously.
Right.
And now I get to fight in front of, a whole crowd that's there for me. So it's going to be new, but it's going to be fun.
What did you make of Regis's last fight? His performance?
He didn't look good. I don't think he looked good.
Was that on him or was that on the opponent?
I mean, he fought a crafty, awkward type opponent, but I don't know.
Were you surprised that he didn't look good?
Yeah, I was surprised. Because I didn't know the guy that he was fighting. I never seen him fight, so I thought Regis was gonna go in there and blow him out the water, but he didn't.
He said in the press conference that the only reason you're taking this fight is because of how he looked in that fight. That you think that now maybe...
Yeah, no, I called him out before that.
Yeah.
My dad actually went to that fight to go scout and go look at him, see how he looked and everything, because we knew that he was, one of the guys that we could fight, that possibly we could make happen.
Right.
And so, yeah. But...
you had your eye on him.
Yeah,
Didn't matter.
I called him out before that.
Right.
I talked to Eddie about making that fight before that. And but he's clearly, he doesn't feel good. He's not happy with the performance he put on. So, of course, he's going to say that.
Why is he trying to say that you tried to scrub one of your losses? What is this? What is going on here?
Yeah, I mean,
have
you ever heard of that?
No, I've never.
We hear about crazy stuff in boxing and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We've never actually know somebody that actually did that, right?
I don't know. No, I've never heard of this.
Right, that's like some movie type.
Like that you paid someone off to scrub the loss.
That's a movie type.
Right.
Shit.
Wouldn't there be witnesses? Wouldn't there be some sort of footage of this loss? Has he been able to produce anything?
I'm a special fighter. I'm a special fighter, and Come on now. For me to
What-
lose in
what is
Mexico,
even, like,
I haven't lost in the United States, so for me to lose in Mexico, all respect to the the Mexican fighters and fighters in Tijuana, it made me the fighter that I am today. But come on now, I'm undefeated, undisputed. For me to lose in Mexico, come on now, bro.
Where do you think this even came from? Did you say Rolly Romero
Yeah,
started?
Rolly was the first person I ever heard say that.
About you?
Yeah, he said that.
But like,
about me.
where's he coming up with this? Or is he just making it up?
Rumors start and then picks up.
Does this
traction.
annoy you?
No, I mean,
Doesn't annoy you? They're trying to say you have a loss.
It's part of shit talking. People are going to say what
Crazy.
they're going to say. But I do know Regis did get dropped his last fight, and they robbed him of that. They robbed the guy, his opponent, of that drop. So, and if they would have counted that, he would have either got a draw or he would have lost. So he needs to stop talking.
Right.
We know some stuff about him too.
Right, and that was on TV. That was on the Zone.
Yeah, and he admitted that he got dropped after the fight. He said it looked like a drop. It looked like a knockdown to me.
Why do you think he's like pushing this so much?
What?
This thing that you have this loss that you paid off.
I mean, because he knows that my record is squeaky clean. My name has no blemishes on it. So of course he gonna try to come with something, but it's all part of building a fight. He can say what he want to say. He gonna come with some more stuff. Once that dies out, he gonna come with something new.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. You know this.
I know this. People are coming at you left and right. Then I saw Leonard Ellerby say you're not a big enough fight for Tank too. People are. Why are they taking so many shots? Why so much disrespect? I know it's the shit talking game, but it feels like a lot of people don't want to give you your flowers.
They hate the greats. They hate them, and then they
Don't I know it?
Yeah, they hate them. Come on, man. You know how this. They hate you, and then they respect you when it's all said and done, and they can say what they want to say. I'm just gonna keep winning, keep beating whoever they put in front of me, and yeah.
Which fight has a better chance of happening down the line? You versus Tank or you versus Shakur?
I mean, the biggest fight is me versus Tank, so I would say that one. But Shakur is not too far behind.
Right. What weight do you think the Tank fight would be at?
140.
Yeah.
It would have to happen. It would have to happen at 140.
Why is that?
I mean, he's fought at 140 before. He beat Mario Barrios at 140. I'm at 140 now. It would make the most sense for it to be at 140.
You say I'm at 140
because
now.
He says Tank is the type of fighter. He says he doesn't care about belts, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't fight for belts. He fights for money. So he wouldn't care about the belts at 135. He would just want to make the money in fighting me. So 140.
And when you say I'm at 140 now, you are eventually going back to 135 though, right?
For the right fight.
Oh, okay. There's a chance you may not fight there again?
We got to see. If it's the right money, the right fight, then I'll be at 135 again.
Okay.
But my body's just maturing, and my body has grown so much since the beginning of my career. I started at 135 when I was 17. I turned pro at 135, so I've been here for a long time, and now that I just let my body just go and just let my body just mature and just rest and recover, I got even bigger. So 135 would definitely be even tougher for me to make, and it was already tough.
Like this last cut, tough?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
It takes a lot of discipline.
Right.
Takes
What do you walk around at?
160.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it's different because I'm a 160, but I'm not like a fat 160. I'm a still cut 160. So those last few pounds is hard to get off.
What do you think you'll end your career at? Like, what weight do you think you'll?
154.
Oh, really?
154, 160.
Man, we might see you versus Terrence.
You never know.
That would be nuts.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
You think Errol's gonna do the rematch?
I don't see it happening. If it's not at 154, I don't see it happening.
Is Terrence number one pound for
And
pound?
honestly, truthfully, I wouldn't want to see it if it was not at 154. It would be just no point.
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Earl is depleted when he goes 147, and it's like, it would be the same type of fight.
Kind of like you and Kambosos too. There wasn't a lot of interest in the second one.
I mean, but it wasn't because Kambosos was weight trained.
No,
like
but
that.
it just...
So that's the thing. So it's even worse because it's like, all right, we know that he's, not taking nothing away from Terrence, but we know that Earl is weight trained.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Yeah, we know that he's weight trained, so it's like Terrence's skills speak for themselves, but it's just, we know that the weight is taking a lot out of Earl as well.
Do you have Terrence? Oh, there it is. Bless you. Bless you. Do you have Terrence as number one pound for pound?
I got him as number 2 behind Canelo.
Wow. You have
Yeah.
Canelo number one.
Yeah, I think.
Not Inoue.
No.
No. Even though Canelo lost to Bivol.
Yeah, but Canelo's just going up different weight classes and just daring to be great. So,
but Crawford did that too. I know not as many weight classes.
Yeah, but like you said, not as many.
So what do you have? Canelo, Crawford.
I got Canelo, Crawford, Fury.
Fury.
Yeah.
Tommy. Just kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke. Wow, Fury. So not Usyk, who went up in weight. And not Inoue. I thought it was a 2-horse race.
Anyway.
You know Inoue, right?
Yeah, of course.
He's the man.
Nah, he's good.
You're not impressed?
Only thing about
based on the opponents? The opponents aren't?
Only thing about it is I like Inoue.
Yeah.
I respect his game. But I don't know a lot of people that he fought, to be honest.
Right.
Like, I understand what he's doing. What he's doing with them is not easy, obviously. I don't care who you are, whoever gets in the ring, you knocking them out, it's not easy. But can you name some name?
Well, Fulton was great.
Okay, name 5 people that Inoue fought.
Oh, 5 is tough. Donaire twice. Fulton.
No, Donaire is one person.
Well, I know you fought him twice though.
Okay, that's one person.
I know. Those are two.
If I take 5 people I fought, you can't say Kambosos twice. You can't say that.
Well, sort of. I mean, every fight is different.
But we're talking about names.
I get it. You're only as good as the opponent. There was a guy in MMA named Demetrius Johnson who was 125, and people didn't give him his credit because he wasn't fighting top guys. It reminds me a lot of that.
Donaire,
Fulton.
Fulton. Who else?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Come on.
No, I can't. Off the top of my head, yeah.
All right, so let's do Fury. Name.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We got Wilder.
3 times.
No, we can't.
Klitschko. Dillian White. Chisora, but that was whack.
Chisora, but we know these guys.
Yeah, I know. But they're just because heavyweights are more well known than the dudes at 122 and all this.
Yeah, but it is what we know the guys that Lomachenko fought when Lomachenko was fighting down there. So it's just. I have nothing against anyway.
But you could see the skill, though, right? I mean,
you cannot take. Like I said, I respect his game. I can't. I cannot take that away from him. I respect his powers. He's powerful, but I just don't know the guys that he's fighting. I don't know them. He looked great against Fulton. Mm-hmm. He looks great against Coolboy Steph. Beautiful performance. That was the first real one that I could say. Donaire was on the back. Donaire was on the back end of his career.
Sure, he did smoke him though. What was that, like 2 rounds or something?
What, the second fight?
Yeah, the second fight. Yeah, the first one was close.
First fight, he went to war with him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
By the way, what's your take? And I'll let you go in a second here. But crazy times in the world of boxing. Showtime out.
Yeah,
crazy. It's sad, right?
I see some people happy about it, but I think it's a sad time for boxing. Showtime has done so much for the sport, and it's just like a missing piece in boxing now. Like, we got HBO gone. We got Showtime gone. But I think somebody new is going to come in. But it's still just, Showtime is just like real boxing,
Yes, prestige.
Yeah. Exactly.
Imagine 10 years ago telling someone no HBO boxing, no Showtime boxing.
That's like saying the UFC, UFC just gone.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And people, it's a lot of haters in boxing. I see people celebrating this. This is crazy. I know some people may not like Steven Espinoza.
But
this is good for you guys to have.
It's even bigger than Steven Espinoza. It's just the Showtime.
Yes.
It's just, my grandpa grew up watching Showtime.
Right.
Our people. Showtime's been around since
Tyson.
I started on Showbox.
Right.
Yeah, so, Showbox made me who I am today. So I always have respect for Steven, Gordon Hall. Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
All the Showbox, all that.
Shout out to you for knowing their names. Gordon Hall, that's...
Gordon Hall, he runs Showbox.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, respect. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know. By the way, that promo that they put out, the one of you and Regis?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people like
that dude, the guy who does that for DAZN, or actually it's for Matchroom, his name is Alex Haynes, British guy, tall guy. I think he may have worked with you.
Yeah.
He kills it with those promos. That one was so great. You guys whispering and all that shit. Did you like it?
Yeah, a lot of people liked it. When I first seen it, it was like, all right, like...
You weren't blown away? I've watched it like 10 times.
And then my dad, he was like, that is fire.
Yes.
And when it dropped, everybody was saying how crazy it was.
Oh, it was great. I loved it. There's like an intensity.
Like you do something so you already know what you're going to say.
Sure.
So like, all right.
But when you see it together and both of you guys back and forth. By the way, I like the teeth here. What do we got over here?
Just some diamonds in my teeth.
Yeah. How much are those?
We don't want to.
Nothing like $10.
Yeah.
Yo, can you eat with those, or do you have to take them out?
Nah, they're permanent.
They're permanent.
Yeah.
So when you fight, you have them in.
When I fight, I have them in.
Sheesh. KSI's
Mouthpiece. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 51,000 pounds, whatever that translates into American dollars.
Yeah.
That's absurd. Would you ever do something like that?
No, I mean it's fire. It's when you look good, you fight good.
Yeah.
And
Well, that fight
I
wasn't
believe that.
great. Did you see it? The KSI one. I was commentating it. I said it was unwatchable on the commentary.
I mean, you gotta respect those guys. They get in the ring and
It was tough to watch.
Well,
They
not
kept
so much,
holding each other every
Not so
2
much
seconds.
Tommy Fury. I mean, I respect him.
Yeah.
But I'm a guy like KSI. He didn't grow up boxing. He
No,
got into
no.
boxing. He's been taking it serious and he's been dedicated to the sport. So just even being there and being to last with a guy like Tommy Fury is
Moral victory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what they said I was too critical on Tommy, but I was like, I'm holding him to a higher standard because he's the pro boxer.
But you can't do that though. At the end of the day, when you're commentating, I feel like
that was my bad. What do you mean? He's the pro boxer fighting the rapper.
yeah, no, but they're two.
Did you think
fighters.
I was biased?
When
Did you watch it?
I didn't like
Okay, good.
feel like you were
For the
biased.
better.
I didn't feel like you were biased.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
Listen to the commentating, but
Why is that unfair in this particular case when it's a rapper?
But they're both boxers, and when they get into that ring, so
I know,
they're-
but one
they're-
dude
they're
is-
both on an even playing field when they get into that ring.
You think so? Even though one guy's like a legit pro boxer.
Yeah, I mean, we're really saying the same
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
in a sense because we're saying that KSI did good to even be
Right.
fighting a boxer. So a guy that grew up in the sport of boxing, brother is great in the sport of boxing.
Legend.
His-
Father.
Yeah, father.
I'd like
Who
to
do you
see
think won?
Who do I think won? Actually, I thought it was a draw because I thought, well, you know what? No, draw, but then because of the
took the
10-8.
point, yeah.
Yeah, so KSI should have won. 3-3, 10-8 second, KSI wins.
Yeah. Wait, so what did they score that round?
They scored it a 10-8, but they only gave him one judge gave him like just that one and then the rest to Tommy, or gave the first two to KSI and then the next four to Tommy, so it was a moot point.
You think they'll fight again?
No, I hope not. I want to see KSI Jake Paul.
That's what I want to see.
That's the one. You would watch that?
And I don't really care for influencer boxing. Not like I don't care for it, but I'm for it. I'm for it because they bring a lot of new eyeballs to the sport of boxing, but I don't really watch it.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's just
It was crazy though, man. There were 10-year-old kids in that crowd. I've never seen anything like it.
It's great for boxing.
I was at Spence Crawford. There was no one in the arena till the co-main.
Yeah.
This place, 70% full before the first fight.
Yeah, because
by the time the main card started, it was 6-fight main card.
It's different boxing events. They don't really
They know everyone. Yeah. They knew everyone. There was tag team boxing too. You see that?
Hey, that shit was kind of.
It was crazy, right?
Yeah, I kind of fucked
The
with
dude
that.
got dropped and then he went out. I actually enjoyed it. It was one of the most enjoyable fights on the
I
card.
kind of fucked with that. I'm not gonna lie.
Would you do it?
No.
No.
Nah, but I want to see Jake and KSI.
That's the one.
Obviously, Jake is my boy. I'm cool with Jake. Me and Jake trained together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be talking to Jake, giving him pointers and stuff like that.
Nice.
I want to see that fight though.
That's the biggest one. That sells out 80,000 seat soccer
Yeah,
stadium.
I would hate to see one of them stop boxing, and then they don't ever fight.
You know what they'd be acting like?
What?
The real boxers. Give us the fight that we want. Stop dilly-dallying on Twitter, going back and forth with your stupid...
Yeah.
That's the one. And then go away.
And if one of them loses, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Boxers, this is our life. This is all we have, really.
Right.
They have they're still them.
They got they got drinks and albums and crazy stuff. All right, December 9th, San Francisco, Chase Center, home of the Warriors. You're coming home. Are you going to come out to You're Coming Home? I'm coming home.
I'm coming
You going to do that?
home. No.
Everyone does that now. Okay. It's too old.
No.
It's been done.
Yes.
All right. You know your walkout yet?
Nah, not yet.
Okay. If you need tips.
You gonna walk out with me?
You want me there? I'll be there. I mean, I feel like I've shown you a lot of love, if I'm being honest. And,
It's only right?
Well, it's not really been a two-way street. You haven't shown me.
I'm here.
Yeah, I know. We could talk to DAZN. They like me very much. I could be on the commentary if you want. Can I be in the ring doing the interview? I like doing that.
I'm gonna see I'm gonna see. I got some juice with his own. So
I mean,
might
they
have
love
to
you. You're back. Eddie loves me.
I'm back.
I like doing the Larry Merchant thing.
We're back.
We're back.
Come on.
There he is, Devin Haney, the man going up from 135 to 140 to fight Regis Prograis on December 9th. live and exclusively on DAZN pay-per-view. We'll take a quick break. Here's my conversation with Rey Mysterio from last week, and we'll be back to wrap up the show, picks, all that stuff and more. Don't go anywhere.
And I want that U.S. title. Rey Mysterio, I already beat you once, brother. And I'm coming for that U.S. championship. Let's go!
Okay, so I was expecting Logan to call out perhaps, I don't know, Tommy Fury or an MMA fighter, someone like that, but he ended up calling out one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, the current United States champion of World Wrestling Entertainment, Mr. 619, the Hall of Famer. He was just inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame back in April, right before WrestleMania 39, where he fought his son, Dominic Mysterio, who's doing incredible things. And so he had that on his mind. The next WWE pay-per-view is on November 4th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the week after the big Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury fight. And wouldn't you know it, the legend himself is actually in studio right now. What an absolute honor this is. Holy smokes. Oh my God. I need to bow down to my guy, Rey Mysterio, in the flesh, the champion. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. This is incredible. Look at that belt.
Put this right here.
Man, we couldn't have scripted this any better, Ray. He calls you out and you're in studio.
Wow, I was shocked when I heard that.
Were you? Well, we're going to get it to all that. It's so nice to see you, my friend.
Man, thank you.
This is amazing. I've been great. You smell fantastic, by the way. This is incredible. Okay, this is so great. Welcome to our home. This is our home here. We got all our little tchotchkes. We got Raul. Well, no, that's actually Virna Janjiroba.
Oh.
Yes. Someone else, but that's a good call. Dylan made the same, I guess, statement. But I know he's your boy.
Yeah.
I know he's your boy, and we're going to talk about all of that. Yes, I saw the photo that you posted after his big win. Yeah. But how about Saturday night? Okay, so let me ask you this. Logan's fighting. I know you were at a house show, right?
Actually, I was home.
You were home?
I had just flown home that morning.
Okay.
And I was ready to watch the fight because I wanted to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were watching?
Yes, I was.
Okay. He wins his fight. Can I ask, what did you make of the fight?
I thought Dylan was going to put up more of a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw a couple swings in between rounds that I thought, okay, this is the round where he picks it up.
Yeah.
And it just never did. You know, I was shocked more than anything.
Disappointing? Because of all the talk and the build-up and all that stuff?
Yeah, I did think that it was going to be more of a fight. And, you know, Logan was all over him.
I mean, really, like, there was nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Even like the stuff at the end, like there
Why
was more fighting. What did I think, or
no, why did you think? Because I was hearing your commentary.
Yeah. The voice was struggling there. Yeah, with Coach and Todd Grisham.
Yeah.
I think that his game plan was to tire out Logan early on. Let him unload. He thinks that he's too big. He's got too many muscles, all that stuff. And then come the third round, fourth round, fifth round, pour it on. The problem was, I think he felt his power in the closing seconds of the second round. And then I think he just said, I want nothing to do with this. And then I think he was just trying to create like a moment, a meme, if you will. Right? He was doing the MMA stuff. And then it got a little silly, in my opinion. Like going back on his back and going for the guillotine. That to me is just like, you talked a lot of shit leading up to this.
Yes, he did.
At least go for broke. And I think he really didn't want to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Because you know how it is.
Yeah.
Like, that picture is going to be posted everywhere. That video will be posted everywhere, and he has to live with that.
Yeah.
And so I think now what he's saying is, oh, I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a training camp. I didn't have anyone guiding me. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy.
Right.
But I survived.
Right. And that's what I didn't follow. His training prior to the fight. I don't know how he prepped up for this fight.
No. But he had no boxing coach in his corner.
Wow.
He just had 3 MMA fighters.
Wow.
He had no team.
That's crazy.
But he's known about this fight for a long time.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
And he made it very personal.
Yeah.
You think that's family stuff?
At points, I said, okay, are they making us want to pick up this fight and watch it, or is he really going overboard? And it was pretty deep.
Yes.
It was pretty deep. I kind of put myself in Logan's shoes. If that was my girl or my fiance, whew, yeah. So,
but it was interesting. He said he forgave him. He
was
like
right
very
before the
zen.
fight. Yes.
And even as they did the face-off, he kept mouthing, "I forgive you. I forgive you." And I thought that was really interesting to see because I think he had to do that because otherwise he would want to like rip his head off.
Yeah.
Someone's talking about and then he got hit in the head with the microphone.
Yes.
I mean, this thing, do you like, I know you're a fight fan.
Yeah.
You like this crossover boxing world, influencer boxing world?
I like it when it doesn't get too heavy.
Yeah.
I like the smack talk, but obviously this felt like very, very deep.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, okay, it's cool, but there's got to be limits.
Right.
I imagine. Talk smack about my performance or my losses or whatever. But when you mess with the family, you got to put up a defense.
But also, you've been watching fighting for a long time. You know what you're buying when you buy this pay-per-view, right?
Right.
You know you're not getting Spence Crawford, I would imagine. Or
of course.
Right?
Yes.
That's the part that confuses me. It's like I see people complaining afterwards. Like,
no.
These are novice fighters.
Yeah.
They're amateur fighters.
It's 6 rounds, too. So
6 rounds, all that stuff. So then he wins, and I'm in the ring with him, and I think he's going to call out another boxer, say I'm going back to WWE, but he calls you out specifically.
Yeah.
Says he wants that U.S. title right there.
He said, correct me if I'm wrong, but he says, I have my eye on someone and something.
Yes.
He said, that U.S. title, Rey Mysterio. So I was like,
what was your reaction?
I was like, what did he just say? No way. And I had to rewind it to make sure. And yeah, he did. He called me out. I was like, okay, I'm not hard to find. You can find me every Friday night on SmackDown.
That's right.
So I can't wait to see what he has to say.
Why do you think he called you out specifically?
I think personally because he's been doing really good in the ring. He just won a fight. So his octane level is at a peak and his adrenaline's going. So I think he felt very comfortable. Now, the question is, will he be comfortable whenever we decide to make this match?
He's a big boy.
He is.
You think he looks at you as like, okay, this will be, smaller guy. This could be a bit of a, for lack of a better word, easier challenge than...
I mean, I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life, so I don't see why he would see it that way. But I do believe that he has trust in his growth inside a wrestling ring. Look at the performance he put against Ricochet.
Yeah.
Incredible. I had to tip my mask off to that match. It was really good. And then the one prior to that against Roman. So I think he now wants to make a statement in WWE, and he wants to carry gold.
So you've been impressed with his maturation, better than you thought?
Yes, no, really. I think he's grown.
You were in there with him at the very beginning.
Yeah, I had his first match, my son and I versus The Miz and him.
Yeah.
Now, he did mention something that I got to correct him because he said, I already beat you once. And I think he's mistaken because the one that beat me was The Miz.
Right, that's true.
So if Miz wouldn't have saved the day in that match, Dom and I would have pinned him.
That was April of 2021. Do you think he has improved? Like, has he exceeded your expectations in terms of...
That was actually last year.
22? Sorry, 2022.
Yeah,
yes, that's right. We're in
Texas.
Yeah. It was the Double 9 in Texas.
It feels like WrestleMania was last year, right?
I know, exactly. It feels like we're already in Philly for 40. Has he improved more than you thought he was going to in what, a year and change?
I see his growth and his improvement, especially after having the match against Roman.
Yeah.
And then this last match, like, he can adapt to any style, which is crazy. Not a lot of guys can come into our world and perform the way they perform, like Logan and like Bad Bunny in a way.
Yeah.
They pick up the beat right away. So it's shocking, but not scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
He takes some crazy risks, though.
He does.
I was in London for Money in the Bank, and he went through the table, and I thought he may have broken his neck. He was on the ropes, and they did this spot. I think it was with Ricochet, or even the move with Ricochet at Royal Rumble, the springboard, right? And then the way he fell.
Yes. Yeah. He does some crazy bumps. I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were out the second rope.
Yes.
Did like a Spanish fly, I believe, to the outside. Yeah.
That's some scary stuff.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So he's a risk taker.
He's a risk taker, but is he taking too many risks? Does he have to chill out a little bit?
No, he can keep going.
Okay.
He do whatever you want.
Okay.
Do whatever you want, Logan.
Yes. Beat yourself up.
Yeah, please do.
So is this happening? Is this a done deal or not quite yet? You versus him?
I'm going to see what he has to say on Friday. You know, we're going to have to tune in this Friday night on SmackDown because he called me out and I responded, but now we're going to face each other. And I got to hear what he has to say.
Will you both be on SmackDown this Friday?
Yes, we will.
Okay. A little face-to-face?
Yeah.
Do you need me there to conduct it?
That would be great.
I was doing.
I'll tell you what, that would be, whatever he has to say.
Can you put in a good word with...
After that, then we do it.
All right, that was great stuff with Devin Haney, and that was great stuff with Rey Mysterio. That was last week. They did, in fact, have their face-off on SmackDown this past Friday. It was in San Antonio, by the way. We were trying to figure out where SmackDown was taking place. Imagine living a life where you have no idea where you're going to be by the end of the week, and you're
That's my life.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine packing for a trip and then on the way to the airport say, "Oh, where am I going again?" Oh,
yeah,
what
it's
is?
wicked.
Oh, you would love that?
No, maybe the first time, like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but then you
find out you're going to San Antonio, and it's like,
San Antonio isn't a great place, and I don't mean to be mean towards San Antonio, but I just didn't have the best time when I was there. I do love Texas. Dallas has always been great. Houston has been great.
little Austin. El Paso.
No, Austin is the one place.
Laredo, Amarillo.
No, that's it. That's it.
Tyler.
No.
You
Amarillo's
haven't ventured.
Terry Funk country. I have always wanted to go to Austin. Austin, Portland are pretty much
Same
like
city.
They are?
That's a joke. It's like Portland has become Austin.
Oh, really? Those are the two places left on the list for me for American cities that I haven't been to that I really want to go to. I haven't been to every American city. Like, I'd like to go to Montana one day or Wyoming. It all sounds great. But two places that it was always Austin, Portland, and New Orleans. And then I went to New Orleans, but I was only there for like 36 hours. I don't feel like I really got to experience New Orleans. Nevertheless.
You know where you really need to go?
Tell me.
Nacogdoches, Texas.
What's that?
That's the best.
All right. I'll put it on the list.
There you go.
Nacogdoches?
Yep.
What's it near? Like which?
Closer to Austin.
Interesting. Is Austin south?
Well, sometimes we call it Naca Nowhere because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
But great place.
Okay. Frank with some Texas humor on this Monday afternoon. I do want to thank Devin Haney for stopping by. In a minute, we'll check in with the guys. But I also want to thank our good friends over at BetterHelp. BetterHelp, as I've said, one of my favorites, if not number one on the list, because of the service that they provide. And it's great to hear from people who are taking advantage of this service and bettering their life because of the good people over at BetterHelp Online Therapy. Does it ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way? You might know what you should do, but your brain keeps second guessing. Making the right decision is not always easy. Therapy, though, might offer a way to figure out what's holding you back. And so I've talked about this before. It is just so important to speak to someone. If you are feeling down, if you are feeling like you are hitting a roadblock in life, if you are struggling, if you are feeling like there is nowhere to go, there's always somewhere to go. There's always someone out there who wants to talk to you, who's available to talk to you. And the beauty about a service like BetterHelp is you can do it from the comfort of your home. You could do it where you're most comfortable. You could do it via phone. You could do it via Zoom. You could do it via a million different ways. And that to me is a huge, huge thing because you may feel a little uncomfortable sitting there in someone's office talking face to face. This is a beautiful thing that they are offering. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, you can give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp can give you a place to sort through all those thoughts with a licensed therapist you can connect with on your time. It's entirely online. And it's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charges. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp at betterhelp.com/MMA Hour. Again, that's betterhelp.com/MMA Hour and get 10% off your first month. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/MMA Hour. Support them because they support us, but more importantly, support yourself as well. It's a great service, and I can't recommend it enough. Also, want to give love to our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. There is a lot going on, as we know, in the world of combat sports. There's the big one, Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou doing the damn thing this Saturday in Riyadh. Soon to come, UFC 295 at Madison Square Garden, the final Bellator event of this era, coming up on November 17th. Tons in the world of boxing as well. Devin Haney and Regis Prograis. The return of Jake Paul on December 15th. Well, in addition to all of that, you also have the NBA returning It is back, my friends. The National Basketball Association. Back this week in a very big way. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, celebrating with an unbelievable and unbeatable offer. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing down just $5 on the NBA. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant dub. What's better than that? And with DraftKings and their parlays, everyone's got a shot at even bigger basketball wins. String together multiple bets from the same game or build your parlay across multiple games for a shot at making your payday even sweeter. Basketball's more fun when you're in on the action. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code the MMA Hour. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code the MMA Hour. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Blue Hill Casino Resorts. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Louisiana. 21 and older, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms for eligibility until housing and responsible gaming resources. Yeah. Why does I think like this microphone is on or something? Are they double on? Because it feels like there's like an echo. Am I crazy, Frank?
Not crazy, but
I was right.
It's not happening.
Something was different. Or maybe it's just like a little bit too loud. Is it this? I don't know what it is. Maybe just a smidge. I don't know. Sometimes I think you boost it for the in-person. Am I crazy about that? Anyway, rest of the results as far as 294 are concerned. Ikram Aliskerov with the big win over Warley Alves. That was supremely impressive. The flying knee and then the subsequent damage. Said Nurmagomedov with the guillotine choke against Muin Gufarov. Mohamed Makayev, as I said, with the submission arm triangle choke win over Tim Elliott. Is he going to get the title shot before his John Jones deadline? Not sure, but wouldn't be surprised if he gets it in 2024. Trevor Peek with the win over Mohamed Yahya, unanimous decision win. As we mentioned, the Javid Basharat fight against Victor Henry ended in a no contest. Tough to watch. Henry, an incredible amount of pain on the ground, rolling around, and it just seemed like the doctor didn't believe him. Cedric Dumas with the decision win over Abu Azaitar. Mike Breeden, who is actually going to be on the program on Wednesday. Stay tuned for that. He got a big win over Anshul Jubli. And Mohamed Naimov with the unanimous decision win over Nathaniel Wood. Victoria Dudikova with the unanimous decision win over Jinyu Frey. And the big man, Shara Magomedov, the Pirate, defeated one Bruno Silva, a.k.a. the Bullet. This man is an absolute sensation on social media. My guy Spencer was posting some stuff on TikTok, and I couldn't believe the views for this guy. Why do people love Shara Magomedov so much? Is it because of how he looks? Is it something else? What am I missing here? What is going on? I was looking at the views, like 1 million for his weigh-in. What is happening?
I think the look has a lot to do with it.
You think the look? All right.
It does look pretty cool.
Cool. Intimidating.
Yeah, all of the above.
All of the
Fights
above.
pretty well, too, other than, the takedown defense needs some work. But,
Yeah. Dana White.
Mike Breeden on the show on Wednesday.
Yeah, you like that?
Oh, that's huge. I mean, Mike
That's-
Breeden's my guy after Saturday.
love Breeden.
That was incredible stuff from him.
Yes. Great stuff from him. And Magomedov's interesting. I love Dana pulling out the old show us your birth certificate. Are you really from Dagestan? How could you not have takedown defense if you're from Dagestan? How did the boys do on Saturday?
We did. We did good. But couldn't quite bring it home. The darling, mysterious Frank that got us to the green ends up costing us.
Should have been a DQ.
I can't read any of that. What was his pick that went awry?
Nathaniel Wood.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Could've
I
gotten
don't
the
hate
point
the
taken,
pick in retrospect. What was that? Could he have what?
Could have gotten the point taken. Could have gotten at least a draw, push. I guess it wasn't meant to be.
It's hard to fight after you get hit twice.
No one went with Islam, huh?
No Islam. I will say,
Still in the green.
Frank, after we are still in the green, that is 100% true. Streak was bound to end at some point. After Frank lost on Nathaniel Wood, he was huffing and puffing around the studio here, throwing a fit and saying that he should have picked Volk. He should have picked Volk. He kept screaming that, and I was just like,
"Oh my god!"
Huh?
Wait, this is before the main.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He was like, "I could have picked Volk. I could have picked Volk."
Wait, how'd you know he was huffing up? Oh, because it was a prelim fight.
Yeah. We were together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not having it.
All right. What about you? How'd you do?
Let's get into it. I mean, yeah, aforementioned Mike Breeden, big underdog cash there. I mean, I was running through these hallways on Saturday when he landed that shot on Jubilee to finish him. Like, weirdest third round I've ever seen. Like, he started barking and screaming, and Jubilee just froze up. You don't see that too often. We were running so hot on the singles, 5-0 to start out, and then we get the weird finish with Ankalaev Walker, and then we missed both Hamzat inside the distance and Volkanovski inside the distance. Parlays, and 1 and 2, but luckily we hit the biggest one of the day. Unfortunately, we lost the Basharat because of the no contest. But that brings us to our final results. Another winning week. 13 of the last 15 weeks, up 3.5 units. Had I hit the Ankalaev Walker under, like let's say it gets called a DQ, then we're sitting at 100 units all time. So that hurts, but hopefully we can reach that. If not this weekend, because there's much less action the weekend after in Sao Paulo. Maybe my guy Jelton Almeida will be the one that pushes me over the finish line. But yeah, a nice resurgence here in 2023, up almost 21 units now.
Oh yeah,
feels
they
good.
They said you were toast. Still the bread.
Still the bread, baby. Bread.
Also, I take umbrage in the not a lot going on. Don't forget about Invicta FC 54.
We'll have action there, of course.
LFA 170.
LFA. Amanda Serrano will be fighting.
Amanda Serrano,
right. Favorite.
There's a lot. Going on.
A lot. Not only me being the winner this weekend, a lot of big hitters that we can run through quickly here as well.
Yes.
Still haven't got my hat back. Still got the visor. Gotta get that back at some point.
Where is the hat?
I think it's at my house.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Misplaced it. A lot going on with the props and everything. All right. A man featured before on this show. One of the best out there when it comes to handicapping MMA, lucrative MMA. He went on the Lambo Plays podcast with Narco Cop, and he gave out Mike Breeden to win in round 3 and Muhammad Mahayev to win by sub in rounds 2 or 3. I mean, the money he's putting down on these. Puts $2K on Mike Breeden, wins $6,700. Puts 100 on that parlay I just mentioned, wins $5K there. Puts another 125 down on Breeden in round 3 plus 2,000, wins $2,500 there. And then 500 on Mahayev by submission in round 3. I mean, that's like, sheesh, I'm trying to do the math. That's like $8,000, 14. That's like almost 20 grand right there, just from those 2 fights alone. So shout out to him. And he didn't just help himself. Like I said, he gave it out on a show. Jason Nang also took it. Mike Breeden to win in round 3. Muhammad Mahayev by submission in round 3. Parlayed those up. $5 into 1,265. That's plus 25,200. And then there's another guy, Chase. Mike Breeden in round 3. Muhammad Mahayev by submission in rounds 2 or 3. A much bigger payout on FanDuel Sportsbook for him. Plus 10,500. He turns $5 into 530. A couple more just ridiculous ones here. Nico Official 16. He takes fight to be won by TKO via kick in round 1. Islam Makhachev, $1 into 151. So that's like plus 15,100. Just an absolutely ridiculously specific play. And then how about our guy Jordan? Jordan Wong, 333. He took this live bet, so it must have been as soon as the fight started. He takes Islam Makhachev by KO in round 1 plus 1,600, puts $330 in it. So he makes a $330 bet, and then within 5 minutes, that 330 turns into 5,280. I mean, the money some of these people are making is just ridiculous. A couple more here. CCGG191901.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we all
Heard
know
good
him.
things.
I mean, if you don't know
Shout
him, you better get to know him. He goes 11 of the 13 fights. Gets them all right. A couple voids in there, but nonetheless, he turns $4 into $419. That's over plus 10,000. Last but not least, Thomas. He goes 2 big parlays. Goes heavy on them, too. Plus 5,500 on Dumas, Peak, and Shemaev. Turns that into over 17 grand. And then he goes 750 on Dumas, Shemaev, Makhachev, Alaskarov. Throws in Ohio State. Throws in Tennessee plus 13.5. Turns that into 64.26. So shout out to them, man. Big hitters. Did Tennessee plus 13.5 hit? I don't know. But,
by the way, how's Georgia doing?
Undefeated.
Still undefeated. Are they the
bye.
favorites to get the
Number 1 team in the country. Let's check.
the three-peat?
Let's check the odds. Let's check the odds right now. I mean, big game this weekend against our arch rival, Florida.
Has anyone?
Exciting stuff.
I again, college football not my thing. Has anyone three-peated?
Not since the 30s. So
Wow.
modern era, no.
Wow.
DraftKings Sportsbook. No love, no respect. Michigan plus 225, Georgia plus 275.
Isn't Michigan like stealing signs or something?
I don't know. You know, I focus on us.
Winners focus on winners.
Yeah.
Losers.
Brock Bowers injured, kind of worrisome. Hopefully he's going to be back. Best receiver. But
Sure.
yeah. No, you don't know Brock Bowers?
I know
Best-
Trevor Bauer. I know Brock Purdy.
Best tight end in football over the last 3 years. Best tight end in
Which football are we talking about?
college football.
See, we're an international show. You say football, I'm thinking of Kevin De Bruyne. You know, shout out to him, by the way.
Speaking of Kevin De Bruyne at UFC fights.
while Man City's playing.
Yeah, I was going to say Man City, if I'm not mistaken, had a game on
Yes.
Saturday.
Well, he was
we'll go
injured.
with that.
He's been injured since
So we just go to the big time events.
A, B, Abu Dhabi owners of Man City. So I'm sure there's a connection there. Hey, you want to
Okay.
go to the fights? Why are you trying to slander KDB's name? He's like salt of the earth.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
No, trust me, I thought the same thing.
Man City was literally on.
Yes, no, I know.
Like it's like your team is playing.
I know.
You're at like a big time event, and like they're showing you on the TV too.
No,
It
it's
felt odd to me. It just felt odd.
I don't I don't doubt it. For a minute I was like, hey, to my son Oliver, I'm like, KDB's at this UFC fight while Man City's playing. He's like, wow, that's weird. He even thought it was weird, and he's 11. I thought that'd get him into the fights, but it didn't really work. Also, Zlatan was there, but he,
Zlatan?
yeah,
He's obviously retired.
yeah, no. I mean, I didn't realize Zlatan and Khamzat were such close friends.
Yeah, tight. And Alir
In the
Latifi.
picture, in the what? Well,
And Alir
Latifi.
Shout out to Latifi.
Wait, Latifi friends with Khamzat or friends with Zlatan?
Well, they were all three together, so I'd assume they're just best buds, right?
Sure. No, I was saying, like, are you surprised that Latifi's friends with Khamzat or
No,
surprised that
no.
Latifi's friends with Zlatan?
Yeah, I just feel like that's an
just on
odd
board.
trio. That's
Yeah.
just an odd trio. I wasn't expecting.
Well,
you know.
Latifi and
Latifi,
Khamzat, that's
Right,
not
right,
that
right.
odd, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
What's up with our boys, man? What's up with Forrest? Ron Luton now?
Gosh. Freaking Burnley at home, draw. JJ Watt on the show watching it. Brentford at home, draw. This one stinks. Up 2-0, 83rd minute. I mean, we were even in a chat, a Forest Friends chat. Frank hasn't contributed in that chat
Yeah, I was actually
last year.
I'm a reader.
I
Yeah.
was thinking about that last night. I was like, man, should we?
You
just
don't
go now?
contribute. You don't even watch anymore. Don't even you hardly. It's just me and your friend Jake, and I don't even want to write on the thing anymore because I feel like you don't even know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I was a bit busy on Saturday, but
I'm living and dying. I'm at my son's soccer game with a AirPod in, listening to it, going fuck, motherfucking Luton Town. What the hell? Yeah, that was
big Manchester derby this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, and you watched Beckham.
Yes, so it was fantastic.
So good, huh?
Fantastic.
I
I'll be
watched
at the
it
bar
all.
in my Beckham jersey and Man City hat, supporting
Yeah.
both teams.
Oh my gosh.
Just cheering for Manchester, baby.
I loved it. I enjoyed it. Obviously, there's things
so
that you can, you can poke holes in this and that, but I enjoyed it. How crazy! I mean, we watched it. I think we watched it around the same time last week, and you know me, I don't.
You buckled in. You just
I
knocked it
buckled in
out.
on Thursday. I was just like, you know what? I'm just into this right now, and I just kept going all the way till like 11:30 p.m. But Bobby Charlton then dying, crazy.
Yes.
Such a big part of the
Just
doc.
days after.
Yes, just days after. Crazy. May he rest in peace. But yeah, a lot going on. There was another thing regarding football. Zlatan, KDB. Oh, right now there's Spurs and who's it?
Champions
Oh,
League tomorrow.
I hate when we go up against Champions League. They really need to change it to Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, I know, for the MMA hour.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put this announcement out. Due to MMA hour.
Yes, due to the MMA hour, we are moving all our fixtures to Thursday. Buying or selling Dylan Dennis in the UFC. Does it happen? Dylan Dennis, I revealed on Saturday, has been released by Bellator. It is official. He is a free man, and he is not he's not playing footsie. He's not playing coy. He's making his intentions very well known. He wants to be in the UFC. Do you think they sign him?
I am going to say no. I'm going to say no.
You're insane. Of course.
You think so?
Yes, of course. First of all,
okay.
Connor one call. Second of all,
that's very true.
Second of all, you can't deny he's a guy with 1 million followers now, and God knows what on Instagram, and there's interest. Now, I wouldn't put it past them. Do they pull? Yes. Do they pull one of those? I wouldn't put, because it only elevates contender. It's sort of like when they asked Kimbo to go on The Ultimate Fighter way back in the day. Or Ultimate Fighter. I would not put that past them. Okay, you want to come in so badly? Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter? I'm not saying that's the right.
It's tough. I mean, Tough Hank season 2 immediately renewed.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying that is the right thing to do, but I will say that I can see it being a thing. But ultimately,
all right, well, you swayed me. I mean, you posed the question where it felt like you already knew the answer. I mean, I gave like.
Oh, by the way, I have
no, and you were like, you're insane.
No. By the way, I have no intel on this. This is not me trying to be smart and like tomorrow they're going to announce it. Just for the record.
I mean, you're not kidding. Like he gained like 700,000 followers on Twitter in the build up to that the Logan Paul fight, and he's got like almost 4 million on Instagram. Jeez Louise.
Crazy, right?
I feel like that's like almost doubled in the last few months. So yeah, I mean the interest, and he's obviously making the Connor connection. That's a good one to have.
I think
all
it
right,
happens.
You sold me. I've completely flipped.
Also,
Dylan Dennis, Ultimate Fighter. Connor coaches again?
No, fuck that. No, I don't want to see it. Put him on a card. Like, well, why not? At this point, why not? You're telling me there wouldn't be interest in Dylan Dennis's MMA, return fight after, by the time it happens, 5 years almost away?
I think there would be huge interest.
There's way less accomplished people in the UFC.
Yeah.
There's way less accomplished people.
Yeah. Put it in front of a crowd too.
Fuck it.
Don't put him at the Apex.
Put him in New York. Put him next month. Put him next month at MSG. Throw another prelim fight. Curtain jerker.
Wow.
Now
we're talking.
Not worth it.
I mean, as someone who had boots on the ground in Manchester, the crowd was
They
riled
ended
up when he made his entrance.
I would ask Rick, but I'm afraid I don't want him to.
No, it looks like he's ready to go.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I did glaze over a little bit when it got to the football talk.
Yeah. I just didn't want you to get mad at me. You're scary
I'm not mad
when you
at
get
you.
mad. You get
No.
mad.
I'm not mad at you.
I just don't know.
I'm looking around, just making sure I don't have a dagger in my back before I leave the studio.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's not you. It's the people surrounding me.
I get it.
Oh wow.
Dennis in the UFC.
No, not you, Frank. Frank, not you.
Oh wow. Okay.
Your hands are clean.
Dennis UFC, in or out?
No, come on.
Wow.
Wait.
Why did we even let me? Wait.
I don't know.
Embarrass myself. I mean, this is.
Wait. What is he? What, I don't even know what the no is. No, as in.
I said yes.
Of course.
Oh.
100%.
I said
not
no.
even a doubt.
I said wow.
Yeah. Now, okay. Is this when you say yes? Are you saying you want it, or you're saying it's happening? Meaning,
both. I mean,
yeah.
Why would the UFC not want him?
Agreed.
I mean, it was a little.
I'm kind of shocked that GC was hemming and hawing. I thought you'd say yes right away.
I mean, why did we even pose this question?
No, I mean,
embarrassed myself. I mean, we talked
there's a
about
lot of
marriage in the
people that I
back.
think would actually agree with your sentiment. There's a lot of
everyone was getting ready to jump.
But you guys
the gun.
have so much conviction.
It just seems like a no-brainer.
Right.
How often is it that there's a guy out there with this type of following that people care about him so much he's just like sitting around?
But do they care about him, or is it like a train wreck they can't look away from?
Doesn't
Those
matter.
are the same thing for the.
By the way, who gives a fuck? If the
I guess
if
maybe
the
just
UFC
because he
doesn't-
was in Bellator for so long and he's been inactive for so long, that's maybe why I had hesitation in saying yes. But I mean,
Nah.
I'm sorry for saying that he might not make it.
It's obviously going to depend on the price tag, right? What does Dylan Dennis think his worth is? There's a real possibility. There's a chance where he thinks his worth is greater than the UFC thinks his worth is. But like, there are some Bellator champions that are great fighters that aren't going to move the needle for the UFC as a product that I would sign Dylan Dennis before nearly instantaneously. Because he's going to sell fights, and that's the business that they're in. They are not in the we only have the best fighters in the world business anymore. They're in the entertainment selling fights business.
I wouldn't be.
Also, by the way, Dylan Dennis is a good MMA fighter. Like,
Yeah,
let's
he's
not
2-0.
Yeah, like, let's not pretend that like the guy's a bum just because he can't box. Is he probably limited in the striking in MMA? Undoubtedly. But there's lots of guys who are jiu-jitsu players who have made great careers in the UFC. I would like to see it, certainly, but I think they'd be silly not to at least entertain the opportunity if the numbers can make sense for both sides.
Sure, he beat Grubhub driver number 1 and DoorDash driver number 2.
I was just going to say, you're going to say the line, Ariel, every time you
No,
bring
I
it up, you're just
switched
like,
it.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that
I switched
he
it.
beat,
I switched
fixed my
it.
garage yesterday.
I switched it. I said Grubhub and DoorDash.
Guess where those fighters go after they get beat by Dylan Dennis and Bellator? They go straight to Dana White's Contender Series where they're fodder for somebody else. So it's the same.
Is that true?
No, I'm not saying those.
Oh, okay.
Those fighters literally went there, but like,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
going to pretend that Dana White's Contender Series is full of?
Nah, that's what I'm saying. No, I would put him on a. He would probably fight at 170 though. Could you? Okay, just for fun, Dylan Dennis versus Bo Nickel at 185. Who wins?
Oh, stop!
What?
Now you're going too far.
Well, who wins?
Now you're going way too far.
No, seriously, who wins? What?
Come on.
You think Bo takes him down with ease?
Takes him down with these. He's going to keep it on the feet and knock him out. What are you talking about?
You telling me people wouldn't watch that?
Oh, they'd like to watch that.
Watch Bo Nickel against anyone. You got to put it against Dylan Dennis.
Bo Nickel, Dylan Dennis at 185, even 180. I feel like that's a pay-per-view main event.
Pay-per-view main card.
Now we're
Bo's going to be on the main card no
now
matter what.
you pushed it a little too far.
Yeah, it would do big numbers. Big numbers. What about
honestly though? A
UFC
fight
300,
night,
Dennis Nickel.
A fight night headline by Bo Nickel makes a lot of sense, and you could do worse. For opponents to sell a card, but no, I don't think. I think Dylan has a lot to prove right after that performance. But yeah, why not? If you're the UFC, take the chance on him if the numbers make sense.
Shout out to the chat. I love the chat. Paul M says Dylan versus Shara.
I mean, that's in the range of competition that I'd be willing to accept.
That would be fun.
I mean, that, yeah. Striker versus grappler. That is what that is.
Classic. I mean, we're going back to UFC 1 at this point.
Yeah, build-up would be good. Shout out to the chat for real. They had me rolling during the Devin Haney interview.
What, the sneezing?
Yeah.
We're good, everyone. I appreciate your concern. All right, so we're all in on Dylan Dennis to the UFC. MVP seen taking photos with Dana White and others in Abu Dhabi. This seems like a no-brainer. What are we waiting for at this point, right?
Yep.
It has to happen.
Again, like we're out of options at this point, right? It's like PFL, UFC, I guess maybe.
I mean, he could go PFL.
KFC,
he could go PFL. He's got options. He could go PFL, UFC, BKFC,
but
one championship, or Misfits. That's his boy.
Are these the places we want to see MVP?
Oh, no. I want to see him. I mean, number one, I want to see him get paid. But if I'm being selfish and just want to see him against the top tier guys, I want to see him in the UFC.
Yeah.
We've been watching him for so long, and he's been so much fun. And he's on a roll, by the way. Like it's not like he's just like a dude who's on the back nine. You know, he had the tough fight, but you know, the title fight and the wrestling and all that stuff has always been an issue. But I would love to see him in the UFC.
He's also a guy that even if he doesn't have a championship run in the UFC, there's a ton of fun, exciting fights you can have for him.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be like Wonder Boy, where it's like, yeah, maybe
Wonder Boy would be great.
But I just mean even like his career could be like Wonder Boy, where it's like, yeah, maybe he falls short in a title opportunity. Maybe he never even gets one. But like you can put that guy on top of the UK. Now you got MVP. You know, it's not just down to Tom Aspinall anymore. So I feel like MVP is a no-brainer for the UFC. Another one.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
MVP
Versus
Kevin Holland.
I mean,
MVP,
that'd be awesome.
Ian Gary.
Awesome.
Now we're talking.
I mean,
Love
incredible.
these.
Love all of them.
Danasy and Gary.
I thought about it.
I feel like
great
this,
build.
we
Be
just
great
want
build.
Dylan Dennis to get hurt at this point. Is
No.
It'd
not
be funny if
Dylan
Ian started
MVP.
backing Dylan.
Dylan MVP. All right, yeah. And the newcomers.
Yeah. Nah, that'd be weird. 2 Bellator guys.
Shout out to Dylan. It looks like his unnamed child just turned 1 month old.
Do you think they have a name yet?
I don't know.
I would.
It's not in the post. That's for sure.
I would seriously hope that they have. I still don't know how you leave the hospital. Rick, as
You have to.
you have to have a name, right? Do you think he was
I heard they
trolling?
named him Logan.
He was trolling.
You think so?
He was trolling for sure.
Yeah, I guess you can write something and then change
later.
it, but like,
You
why
could
go
put
through?
it in brackets.
Why go through that trouble?
TBD Danis.
TB Dennis?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't know for sure that it was delivered at a hospital, right?
Oh yeah, he seems like a home birth kind of guy with the doula.
What?
and,
You still gotta like. There still has to be some medical.
Yeah, but
No?
you have to like send that in and figure that out.
that's
That's
like a
Yeah.
social security thing.
You
Yeah,
think Dennis is a home delivery
Yeah, I
type?
totally
of,
see him
I don't know.
with a midwife and a
He's
doula.
sitting in the tub there with the.
Was it an apartment in New York City and he did
Got
that?
a hot tub.
He's got the pedals all over the place, and they're doing it together. And they're who is it?
Candlelight.
Who told me the story where who told the story where they there was it Action? Yes, it was Action Bronson, our guy, where he said that his wife was giving birth at home and it wasn't happening, and then he put on some DMX and then it happened. I'm pretty sure.
That sounds right.
Oh,
Yes, I'm pretty. Was it?
That's crazy.
I think we were talking after after DMX passed away, and he said
that's incredible. That's
Legend.
incredible.
I think so. Yeah, I'm almost 1,000% sure. DMX, rest in peace. One last thing, because I feel like we can't just ignore this all the time, and maybe the back end of the show is not the best place to have this discussion, or maybe it is. Maybe it's the perfect place to have this discussion. What do we make of, and what to do with some of the uncomfortableness of someone like Khamzat Chimaev being very close friends with a Chechen dictator, rubbing elbows, his sons taking photos with Dana White, the visuals after the fight. Do we just ignore all of this? Like, I don't really know how to process all of this. What do we do? No other sport brings this type of like moral and internal conflict to its audience. I don't know. I'm brainstorming here. I'm just speaking. I don't have a take here. I don't know what to do with it. Do we just ignore it? Do we have to keep talking about it? Do we address it? Do we not? Like, what do we do? Rick, you're usually good in these situations. What do we make of this? How do we make sense of this?
Yeah, I think as it becomes relevant to the conversation, right, then nobody could be judged for wanting to bring light to it, right? It would feel odd to ignore it when somebody is this public and in the profile and in the spotlight. You know, I think MMA is fraught with these types of things, right? It's not specific to palling around with a dictator.
Man,
this is as simple as domestic violence. It could be as simple like there are tough conversations to have everywhere when it comes to MMA, and it is not specific to that. Now, I'm not trying to do a power ranking of scumbaggery in MMA, but yeah, it's everywhere. And if we're going to point it out in certain situations and not others, I would say that that's probably incorrect. If we're going to point it out every single time, even when it's forced into the conversation, that's probably not the right tact either. So you're coming to me for an answer, and I don't have one. But but I think it would be right to say that that is part of the narrative of Khamzat Chimaev, right? It is not something that can be completely ignored. I saw a video this morning of him like landing in a celebratory way, walking down a carpet with Kadyrov. And so, yeah, that makes me uncomfortable. That's not something that I would like to associate with Khamzat, but unfortunately it's part of the story. So it is what it is. And yes, I think continuing to talk about it is probably the right tact. I don't know the right answer.
I don't necessarily want us to like wash the sport. Like if that's who Khamzat is, that's who he is.
Yes.
And let everyone be who they are, right? Let everyone be who they are, but let's know for sure who they are, right? You don't like that's almost like the beauty of the fight game. There's no corporate overlord telling you what to say, what not to say, what to do, what not to do. So if that's who he is, like these are the characters in the sport, and this is maybe part of the reason why there's going to be some people who want to see Sean Strickland beat him or want to see Bo Nickel beat him or something like that. But it's hard to at times then process. It's like, man, we're just watching this guy on the UFC, and I'm totally okay with saying this. I see him get on the microphone after, and he's talking about peace and love, and I see everyone on Twitter, which is what they usually do when something like this happens, and they say, what a classy post-fight speech. What a classy, I mean, that was just perfect. He just nailed that. And then I hear him speaking in a different language, and I'm like, let's wait and see what exactly he's saying there. And then you get the translation of that, and it's not as peaceful as the English part. And then you see, who's celebrating him and what he's doing afterwards. And it's like, this is not exactly peace and love and, flowers and lollipops and rainbows. And I'm like, what like, does the UFC have an obligation to do something? I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm genuinely stumped when it comes to this. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I wish it wasn't a thing, but I guess my general sentiment and feeling is like for the audience not to be fooled, like look at this, make your determination, understand who is who and what this all means and represents, and then decide, if this is something that makes you comfortable, if you like it, if you are able to ignore it, if you're able to. But I saw a lot of people just ignoring all of this on Saturday, and that was very bizarre to me, extremely bizarre. And yeah, like, I mean, could you just imagine in any other sport this being a thing? Like, imagine if the best NBA player was doing this exact same thing. How would that be viewed? I don't know.
That's rhetorical, right?
I get not really.
Not favorably, but
and why is it just ignored here? Is it just
again? I don't want to compare.
Yeah,
this is a fraught situation. I don't want to compare things, but like this is a philosophical thing, separating the art from the artist, right? There are some people who would argue that that's the appropriate way to handle it. There are some people who would argue that there's not. But I can think about hero worshiping Kobe Bryant, who has a less than desirable past that does not get brought up when celebrating him. It's not specific to MMA, in my opinion. The idea of palling around with warlords definitely is something that I believe to be specific to MMA. I can't, off the top of my head, remember other sports where that's the case.
Dennis Rodman in Northern Korea.
Well, actually, that's, you know what, Frank?
That was
10 points, because that's pretty good. But it wasn't during his active career, I don't believe.
That's what I'm getting at. Maybe it's different.
That's a good shout. But I don't think this is specific to MMA, but I do think that it occurs very frequently in MMA and is something that should be addressed. But I don't know the answer either. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Yeah, it's a conflicting thing, right? Because he's an incredible fighter. He's a great character in the sport. He's entertaining, right? Like his demeanor, his press conferences, his interviews, they're all very fun. But then you see that and you're like, what? And you see that and you're like, I mean, this is a conflict, to say the least. And just do your own research. Look up who he's rubbing elbows with. Look at the photos that Dana White is taking. Look at what they stand for. Look at what they believe in. Actually, I spoke of Real Sports at the top of the show. did I think a very fair profile of Kadyrov and his his interest in sports and in particular MMA. And I thought, for the most part, everyone was very I won't lie. I think everyone knows how I feel about what's happening in the Middle East. I thought I was a little bit worried about what could be said and how things would be spun. But I thought everyone, for the most part, was very respectful, and that was nice to see. Did notice a couple of things here or there, but that's me, and my radar is up. But I saw everyone saying like, "Oh, that's the greatest post-fight speech ever," and it was so nice and peaceful. And on the surface, it was. But then you see the translation, and then you see the celebration that Rick was just talking about, and you're like, "Well, which is it? Peace and love, or give me the rifle and let's go." So yeah, I guess what it ultimately makes me think of is a line that was said back in the late 90s by the great Jennifer Lopez, "Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got."
I'm still Jenny from the block.
I'm not sure if we could sum it up any better, right?
What an ending.
Frank, that was good stuff. On that note, let's go home, shall we?
Yeah, I suppose that's in order.
Maybe we can wipe down the...
We're going to have a hazmat team coming, actually. They're suiting up.
Oh, my gosh. Remember there was a time in 2020 when all the fighters were calling Khamzat hazmat because it was just on everyone's mind back then? It was very weird. It's like, no, it's a completely different word. Hazmat. Hamzat. Was it? No, now it's hazmat. Hazmat. I even
Sloppy Joe still calls him hazmat.
What? I feel like that was one that should have been saved for after hours. Still no mention of the Pats win. Kudos to you. That's when you know it's a good friend. I had some people reach out to me and say, "Oh, Bill's choke job." And I'm like, you know what? You're not a friend. Sloppy Joe's a friend because he didn't rub it in.
My finger is on the damn button
Frank.
trying to say something.
He rubbed it in with Frank. I told Joe to talk his shit.
The minute the game was
1-5. Big win for them.
Yeah.
But he was very kind about it. He was like, he was just happy to see the Pats play against what he actually said a really good team.
I questioned that. I did question that.
Then I had to remind Joe, ESP, Connor's not actually behind the Bills right now.
No, he jumped off the bandwagon.
My question to Frank is now that they're not winning as much, when is he going to jump off the bandwagon?
Honestly, after seeing how
Don't you dare,
dedicated
Frank.
my wife is,
okay.
It's not going to stop.
Good.
I mean, she was dedicated before this, fan.
Yeah, no, actually, she started actively watching it when I showed an interest.
Frank, you and I in Vegas in February, we're going to have a grand old time. We're going to shove it.
Don't you need to say thank you?
Anyway, thank you, Francis Ngannou, Paulo Costa, Johnny Walker, Devin Haney. Thanks to them. Thanks to you. Back on Wednesday. Peace.